Oops. I keep forgetting to turn that thing off. Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Aaron Live. This is a absolute last second late night live stream. And we still got 18 people here ready for the show to start. That's amazing. Oh, I just drank some. I never drank this stuff. My daughter keeps making me buy it. Now I drink it all the time. It makes me feel kind of wimpy, but I do it anyway. It's like I don't drink soda because I don't want the sugar. This is kind of like soda, but it doesn't really taste like anything. I mean, it's just enough flavor to say, you know what, I'm going to drink that. I can't make excuses for myself. I probably will never buy another case of that once my daughter goes back to school. So until she comes home again, they'll have to buy it a case. So, wow, somebody's live streaming too much. I can't even talk. All right, let's see you here. Let's see who's here. I will learn to enunciate before my live streaming career is over. I feel confident of that. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is always here. I need a haircut. Look at this. You can see the gray again, and it's like old man Lopresti. If I got to get this shaved so you can't really see it, and I actually look younger with less hair. Yeah, that's right. I do. But Rick, Rick says he was first. I guess he was. You know what you win for that, Rick? Nothing. But thanks for coming. JP Roca is here. Aaron Louviere. I love saying that. It's like he's got my name, but then it's like he's got the French on the end of it. Louviere. So that's very cool. Jiminy Cricket. Okay. You know what? We haven't even been on the air for like 10 seconds, and I'm getting this. She's actually out. Her and Samantha, my daughter, are out at dinner with some friends that I'm not friends with, so I didn't get to go. That's all right. I got to do this. Jeff is awesome. He's letting me know what I already know because I'm like, it used to be when you would. I'm looking at. I got a comic strip over here on the wall. It says "Pearls Before Swine," and my friend Chris Ayers, who's a character designer in Hollywood, he sent me this because we both had books on Amazon at the same time several years ago. That's how we end up meeting. And you just obsessively click on it to see where you are sales wise. Your top 10, your top 100, and in what categories. I mean, you are constantly clicking it. And I do the same thing with Indiegogo. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, I made another $1. Tick, tick, tick. So, but thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're like, what are we talking here? Is it 5 days? We've done 55K. That is amazing. Someone asked me today in one of the questions and attached to the campaign and said, how many DC pages could you draw for 55,000? And I said, well, remember, we've got to subtract our platform fees, right? Indiegogo takes money. Then we got our shipping fees, which are right now, if it ended right now and that was all the orders I had to fulfill, shipping would be probably $6,000+. And then I said, then you get your printing costs, which is $6,000+. I said, so you got to subtract 15 grand right off the top of that 55,000. So now you've got 40,000 left. And I say, yeah, that'll just about pay for penciling, inking, and coloring and lettering a 75-page book. That's no writing and that's no cover. So I'm not complaining. I'm not saying give me more money, but I'm saying we need to push this a little bit higher. So, but I'm very satisfied. I'm freaking out. I'm so happy. I can't even tell you. And I owe it all to you people, and I thank you very much. There's a description. You guys probably didn't get to read it, but I've sold, the sketches and stuff I've been doing, like the She-Hulk and, the other stuff. Last week, I sold all that artwork, but I had nothing to mail it in. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get to the store to get some stuff to mail. So I go to an art supply store and I buy really thick foam core because it's super lightweight, but it's super strong. It's way stronger than cardboard. And so it's kind of like you pay more for the shipping materials, but it's way less to ship because it's lighter and it's sturdier. So I finally went and got the stuff today. to ship out that artwork. And I feel really guilty because normally I ship that stuff out right away, and it's kind of been sitting there for a few days because I've been so caught up in the launch and then, live streaming and appearing on people's shows and talking about the book and which is, that's part of the process. It's like if it was a perfect world, I would create someone to do all the promotion and deal with all the other stuff, and I would just sit over there and I'd write the story and then draw it. But I got to do it all. So finding time to work is crazy. But I did. I was at the art supply store. I lost my train of thought, and I picked up a tablet of brown paper, and I'm like, I got to break this sucker in, and that's what we're going to do tonight. I used to get paper like this when I was a kid for Christmas, and like a tablet of paper like this was so exciting to me because, yeah, the paper was blank, but give me a pencil and I can turn it into anything I want it to. And that was always sort of an exciting thing for me. And so this is kind of exciting. It's like brown paper. So we actually should be able to see what I'm doing. And this is a mixed media, so I could actually paint on this. I'm not going to, I don't have time tonight, but maybe we'll do that in the future. So let's see who else is talking. It's definitely Aaron After Dark. I had to turn all the lights on. Didn't we already acknowledge that you're here? I thought we did, like early on, because you're always here. Rodney's here. Oh my gosh. Rodney's, I'm not going to spoil it, but Rodney sent me a picture that I'm going to use on the Sunday show. That I thought was pretty funny. So, but we'll save that. I know we got to wait like 5 days before the Sunday show, but you got to save it, saving it for content. Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate you not only showing up but sending me that picture. All of us. I'm sure again that's referring to something earlier that I forgot. All right, the Garbage Man collection. Now it is available on the campaign, so you can get it there if you want a signed copy. If you don't, you can get it through Amazon or your local comic shop if that's not important to you, the signed, because my copies are a little bit more expensive because I'm signing them. But they're supposed to come out in November. So I have to order directly from Dark Horse. So all the orders I get from you guys on the campaign, I will then order from Dark Horse, and then all the boxes will show up here. I'll be able to sign them and then fulfill the orders with the Wraith of God comic. If you don't want to wait, then you could actually get one on Amazon or through your local comic shop. But they won't be out till November, which is before Wraith of God will be out. Probably 3 months before Wraith of God will actually be in your hands. So, oh, wait a minute. Dollar store has foam core. Yeah, but this is like 1/2 inch. They probably have that really like thin, cheap stuff. But I'll go check that out because if they have thick stuff, wow, what a savings. Let's see. Break it in. Is he going to smack it on the... Oh my gosh, that is so lame. Boo. Jeff, I expect more from you. Will you still do commissions in the coming weeks, or will they be paused to prioritize Wraith drawing? Here's usually what happens with commissions. It depends, but probably. But once I get on a structured schedule, and that's the problem, when you do all this prepping for a launch and then you're basically shilling it all the time, my schedule is just nuts, right? I'm so completely disorganized right now. I should be working on my pop-up book. I'm going to get in trouble if I don't finish that pop-up book. And I should be working on that because I need to get that done and out of the way. And then I have a cover that a guy's waiting for, and I told him I'd have it by the end of September. Yeah, actually it is mostly penciled, so it won't take me that long. And then I've got a beer label I'm doing for Bedrock City that I have to finish. And these are like commercial jobs that I have to finish. Okay. But I should be done with all of them by now. The problem is I'm doing this all the time. So again, not complaining, just saying. So what happens is when I start drawing regularly, like working on a book, which Wraith of God obviously will be, that's like 4 months of regular work. And because I'm penciling and inking. So what I do is I set a goal and say, okay, I've got to get a page a day, whatever it's going to end up being, right? Because I'll measure it by, it's not just a page a day penciling, because it's going to be, what I hope to do probably is get a page penciled and inked every 2 days. Like do 5 pages a week, something like that. I don't know. Or 2 pages every 3 days, something like that. And if I can do that, then I will have this sort of structure going on. And when I meet whatever that goal is for Wraith of God, then I can say, oh, I've got a couple extra hours, I'll do a commission or something like that. So that was a really long, boring explanation for what should have been a very simple question. Just finished up look at Mike just finished up a month-long NFT project for BitBoy. He's been sick for about a month too. So the fact that you were working while you're sick, that's pretty impressive. Well, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see. We'll see. At least 4 penciled and inked. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I think I have to hit. I really would like to get. I got to get this. I want this done in 4 months, the penciling and inking. So that give us, because that would be what if I start in September. So September, October, November, December. So by the end of December, I'd really like to have this book done. Okay. So then I'm feeding the colorist pages as I'm going. Every 5 pages, I'll shoot him over to the colorist or something, right? So he won't be that far behind me. So in a perfect world, this book is completely done in January and off to the printer maybe by the end of January, right? And so then hopefully, there's all sorts of weird shortages going on, right? And so who knows, but hopefully then that's turned around sometime by the end of February, and then I'm shipping this thing in March, and I'm not even I didn't even promise to ship it until April. So that would be the most awesome thing if that all goes together. That's sort of the plan. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out. Well, still, the fact that you were working while you were sick is pretty impressive. Hail, Aaron. Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining us, man. Well, let me put it this way. The script for Wraith is never finished because I keep adding stuff. Yes, it's done. It was done a while ago. But what has happened is I rewrote the beginning, right? Which I've talked about before. And in fact, let me do this real quick. If you guys remember, the original 3 pages was this. This was page 1. And this is 2 and 3 was a double page spread. And I did these back in the 90s, but they still look pretty good. So I actually could have used them. But I had to change the opening scene because although this is a cool couple images, it's kind of slow, and it actually leaves the door open for you guys to know too much too soon. So I went in and rewrote the scene, which you see on the campaign, where the Wraith shows up at these guys' campsite and starts blasting everybody, right? And it's a better opening because it's an action sequence, right? And we also get werewolf information in that opening scene, right? But it also, the way that opening scene concludes, there's a lot of mystery involved in it that kind of catapults us into our story. Now the problem is, I then have to write a new transition between that new scene and where the first scene originally left off and started. So that I still haven't got 100% done. So, and then I keep getting these like epiphanies, right? I don't know, maybe that's it's too grandiose a word to use for this, but I keep getting this and I'm like, wow, that final scene, I don't like how that's playing out. I got to change it. So I've changed it, but and it's mostly just more action. But it's like you come up with these ideas and you start to see where the pedestrian spots are in your script. And you're like, God, that's so, anybody could have written that. Think, man, think, give us something more. And so I come up with these ideas of how I can tweak a particular scene that I think needs a little juice. And so then I have to kind of go in and restructure that scene. So there's some of that stuff still in play, but more or less the whole thing is written, except for like just a couple of pages here and there where I change scenes. And I sort of have to make a smooth integration from the new script into the old script. So wouldn't that be the coolest thing in the world? When I worked at CrossGen in what was it, the early 2000s down in Florida, one of the Mystic covers I did was she was standing in this cave and this abominable snowman was coming in at her, right? And she was kind of turning behind her and looking up at the creature. And it was really cool. And Mark Alessi, who was the owner, who has since passed away tragically, they were going to do these like statues, maquette type statue things, right? And that was going to be one of the diorama scenes. That was going to be one of them. Of course, it never got made. I would love to have an action figure. I mean, I've designed some, a couple X-Men figures, but they're not my characters. Sludge had an action figure, but the company went under. I saw the prototype, but it never got into production. So it would be awesome to get to do something like that, and maybe we will, because this campaign, this is not the end of Wraith of God. This is not just like a one-shot graphic novel. This is the first Wraith of God adventure. So there will be more. So hopefully we can get like some steam going, and maybe we can do some cooler things as we progress. But I'll also be introducing new characters as well into my universe. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's finish this campaign first. But I have a lot of plans. That's true. We gotta get this train rolling. And well, it has been. I mean, it's been rolling, and you guys have been doing a fantastic job of retweeting and promoting me, and sticking up for me and everything. And I can't thank you guys enough. But yeah, we have a ways to go yet to get to a point where there's some extra funds that I can maybe start sinking into some of this, some of these other things that would be cool. God, I got the greatest guy. I got a suggestion from a guy today about doing like old, do like the trading cards, but doing like old cigarette pack trading cards. I mean, like really old, and then like doing a wooden case to hold all the cards in. And I don't know how much that would cost or anything like that. I'll check into it, but that would be pretty cool. So, Andrew says, "Are you writing it?" Heck yeah, I am. I'm a writer artist, man. Actually, I'm an artist writer, I think, because I've done way more art than I've done writing. But I've done a fair share of writing in my career. But I've never written regular series because it doesn't really appeal to me. I write projects, or I write finite stories. So everything to me is I treat like a screenplay and wrap it up. So although Wraith of God will continue, this would be like, in movie terms, would be the first movie, and then we come out with a sequel, right? So yes and no, Mark. You can't buy a single and get it signed. Okay. The only way you can get the book signed is if you bought like Wraith of God and Garbage Man, you get both those signed. If you buy the 3-pack, which is the big featured thing there, where you get all 3 covers and the print. My books, I obviously I couldn't sign Terry's, but I would sign those 2 covers and the print. So when you buy the package deals, that's sort of the incentive to buy the package deals, is to get the autographs. Otherwise, I couldn't figure out ways to be able to offer a 3-pack that was any different than just buying all 3 of the books separately, right? And so, yeah, admittedly it's a marketing ploy, but that's kind of how that worked out. Let's see what else. Oh, I hadn't planned on it, but things can change. You get to a certain point where the campaign's ended, or you go in demand and you're like, man, I really need to raise some more money to pay for this or that or the other thing, because some of these stretch goals I've got loosely priced out. But the interesting thing is, the more people that order the book, right? Sure, it pushes you to that stretch goal, but then that's more like if it's a card or whatever it is. The one thing I'm really worried about is the Ace of Spades playing card, because that sucker's expensive. But so if I had to go in and do something like that to raise more money, I probably would. But it's not my plan at this point to offer interior pages. But I will tell you this: it looks like we're probably we get to 60,000, which obviously we're going to do. We're at 55 right now. That I will go ahead and do the Esther trading card, and the art for that will be up for sale. So that's a smaller piece, like the Wraith card. So it won't be as expensive as the covers, of course. And then if we keep going, there's another piece. There's another mini print that I'm going to do as a stretch goal, I think at 70,000. And that I would probably sell that as well. Also, something that might be of interest, if we get to 90,000, who knows, right? But if we get to 90,000, that's when I do the sticker set, and that's going to be all new art for that sticker set of all the different characters, and I'll probably sell that too. And those will be much smaller pieces and much more affordable as well. So those will be opportunities, I think, to get in on some more artwork if you guys are interested in that. Yeah, you are absolutely right. It was a cigarette card. So I might do something like that. I thought that was kind of a clever idea. What do we got here? Oh, I'm sorry. Interior panel raffle, 100 tickets at $50 a pop. That's not a bad idea. See, you guys are really smart marketing guys, smarter than me. That's a great idea. I don't know if I charge $50 a pop. That'd be kind of, I don't know, would people actually pay that much with only a 1 in 100 chance of winning? 20 maybe. Of course, if it was like something really cool, like a splash page with a Wraith on it. That's a good idea, Paul. I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. You're probably right to a certain extent. I should. I've been going on other people's shows, though, and hopefully bringing some people back with me. It's always a weird thing because it's like you want to promote. So I should go on other people's shows, right? Well, I get as much promotion doing my own show. And I think if I bring some guys on, I think that's an excellent thing. I don't interview enough people. I don't bring enough people on to do stuff. And I probably should do that. But my show is so centered around drawing and not, I do this obviously for a half hour before we even start drawing, but for the most part, it's centered on drawing. And so a lot of guys don't want to come on and draw because that's like work. But I think that's a good idea. The funny thing is I've never really felt it difficult to write. I mean, it is if you're writing a novel or something like that, which I just could never do. But going in just as a writer is a real difficult thing. But if you go in and you're now an established artist, then it's much easier to go in and say, hey, I've got this property, I want to write it. And what I did was, I mean, the very first stuff I did for Marvel was was the humor magazine. And so they were just short stories, and I would just write them and draw them and do everything. And that was not a big deal. But when I really started writing was when I went and did Sludge. And Steve Gerber, because he wouldn't get scripts done on time, opened the door for me to write. Because it would be like, oh my gosh, 3 weeks and Gerber hasn't written anything and we have to get this thing done. We need a script in now. I'd say, okay, I'll have something for you in a week. And then I would write a script for Sludge. And then, of course, I went to Topps and wrote and drew Xena stories. And that was always part of the deal. At that point, I was an somewhat established artist because of my work on Sludge and some stuff I did at DC. So then I was able to, and my former editor at Marvel, who I started working with, Renee Witterstatter, was then the editor over at Topps. And so I just went to her and said, Renee, I want to do some Xena stuff and I want to write it. And she's like, fine, because I already had that experience with her. So once you get it, it was much easier to become a writer after establishing myself as an artist, I think, than maybe vice versa. Changes how the business card makers do trading card sizes too, and I believe they're cheaper. Okay. Thank you for that. So long as the tie-in between the Wraith and Garbage Man isn't Wraith eating a 19th century moon pie. Oh, that's what I need. I need to laugh. Have a good time. Since Mike Miller is in the chat, I wanted to say that I'll be on Mike's. Tomorrow is going to be an unbelievable day because I have an interview in the morning with Wes on critical thinking, or is it Thinking Critical? Thinking Critical, maybe. And then I'm on Andy Smith's show. Then I'm on The Storytellers with Graham. And then after that, I go to Mike Miller's Drawn and Quartered. We'll actually be drawing the Wraith or Wraith character-related characters. I guess I'll have to share with them what some of their choices might be. I don't know what he's referring to, but whatever it is, it's in the ether now. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. Actually, you guys are killing it. You guys have made it happen, and I'm so grateful that we're going to actually be able to do this project, and just really excited. Frago, yeah, I should bring Frag on. Malin scares me. He looks like he kind of scares me. But yeah, I can bring Dan on. I should do that. I will do that. I will do that. You could always announce that you're creating an OnlyFans account. You could always announce it. I don't know what that means. Oh, see, now everybody wants a piece of this. Okay, you know what I could do is I could just bring on the whole Professionals crew. We're not going to have Professionals again this Thursday night because Art Taber is launching Black and White on Ethan's channel. So you guys want to tune in for that. That'll be a big show, I'm sure. So we're not going to do the Professionals, but maybe I should just do a Professionals and we should all just draw. We did that a little bit with Billy, didn't we? With Rocketeer, I think he did that once. But before that, I actually have to do another game show. God, I love doing those. And I've got one more that I want to do. So that's going to be the next Professionals as soon as everybody's done launching all their books. DC is picking up. All right, David, I'm not gonna put that up. Okay, let's see here. Is Malin a trivia guy? I gotta have less people I gotta have the people that are less likely to swear when I post it on my channel. So let's see. No, this is Black and White 2. It's like the second volume, so it's his second series of Black and White. And it was my understanding that he was launching Thursday. Did they? Because he didn't do a launch stream on with Ethan that I'm aware of. And I know he wanted to launch with Ethan. Did he go live already? I didn't know that. Someone check that and let me know. Well, Malin looks like a tough hombre, doesn't he? I mean, I don't know him very well, but he looks like a tough guy. You know, that's honestly true. When I launched, I lost almost immediately within minutes. Well, within minutes of checking after I launched, I'd lost like 70 or 80 followers. But then by the next day, I'd gained almost 300. So, you know, I think that's funny when people do attacks like that. And I've already now been accused of, you know, being a drama queen and you know, overselling it for attention or whatever. And which I don't think is true, but maybe I have to a certain degree because it really did adversely emotionally affect me. I just was not expecting it like that. And I was very kind of depressed there for a while. And I mean, you know, I mean, it's only been 5 days. So, but I mean, it's just like, I was struggling with it. But I only posted 2 things. I mean, I posted, the thing that cracked me up is I posted the thing about suing people, right? And of course, none of these people have a sense of humor at all, right? Because they're so angry. And so they're like, oh yeah, bring it on, buddy. And I was like, I was being sarcastic, you guys, just relax. I was trying to find a little humor in all of it. But anyway. Yeah, see that, there you go. Or he hasn't. I didn't think so, because he's going to launch on Ethan's stream. He's no dummy. You know, someone told me that like 20% of America uses Twitter, like 70% watches YouTube. Is this like the new TV for a lot of people? Is like live streaming and stuff? Or is it just for the I mean, it can't be just for the comic book crowd, because there's a ton of YouTubers out there that of just various content that just get tons of views. So there must be a lot of people doing this and tuning into this kind of stuff. You know, podcasts are real big and stuff. And I guess that's because you can get, you know, some content without necessarily watching the screen closely, right? You could be doing something out and listening to me ramble, right? Oh, please tell me this is not another bot. Is it? Whoever's got a wrench, help me out here, will you? I do not want to start this live stream over. Oh my gosh, look at that. DJ's got my Wraith of God icon. Very cool. Thank you, man. Oh, I do want to get Kenneth Roquefort on. I'm going to do that because I love his work. I'm going to do that. No, I totally agree with you. I just can't do what Ethan does. I just can't. You know, he takes on the issues and he just, you know, stirs the pot, things like that. I'm just not that kind of guy. And I have to do something different because then I'm just copying him anyway. But I do agree with you. He's got the right template. No, you're right. I don't know if Graham does that. I don't think he does. I think he's doing a lot of stuff digital now, so I don't know if he would or not. That's a good question. Oh, Mike. Should I give Mike a wrench? Should I trust Mike to give him a wrench? Oh, see, here's the thing. I got to open up a whole other browser because I have to go onto YouTube to actually give somebody a wrench, which I think is the dumbest thing in the world. Why can't I just do it from my oh, look, it says I'm live right now. Remember to turn off the sound so I don't get an echo. There we go. All right, so I'm going to give Mike a wrench. Add moderator. There we go. Mike has a wrench. Okay. Mike has a wrench. Mike will be happy now. Yeah, the campaign for Wraith of God, by the way, is in the description. If you haven't signed up yet and you're able to, please go and back the project so we can get to that next stretch goal. And that's the, gosh, we get to the next stretch goal. I got to draw the art for the card. Ooh, maybe I should I'll do that as a live stream. That'll be cool. Wait a minute. I just gave Mike a wrench. How come it doesn't show up next to your name? Has it not? Please don't kick me. I have bought Aaron's prints and I want to back his work. Well, now, Eric, why would I kick you? You have to say something insulting to me before I would do that. Oh, is he talking to Mike, not to get him, kick him out of the chat? Oh, I see. Now, give Brohawk a wrench too. That guy I don't trust. Okay, so Mike says it shows he has the wrench. Okay, cool. Remember, if you guys abuse the wrench, I can take it away. So, you know, that's another thing. I do want to do a live stream of me painting. The problem is I haven't done it in a while, and well, you know what? I can handle it. I should do that. I'll do that. I'm going to set up, I've said this before, but my gosh, I haven't had time. I'm going to set up a drafting table right here so I don't have to draw on my lap anymore. And the camera, I can just sit right there and it'll change everything. Because right now my drafting tables are so far away from the computer, I can't man the computer and draw. And if Shelly Showtime's not here, then what can I do? And she gets bored. If we're not like going back and forth and chatting it up, she gets bored and then she's like, I'm out. So if if I start drawing, she's gone. So, oh no. See, time to take the wrench back. The mighty Durf, you're going to start with a spork and work your way up to a wrench. That's great. No more wrenches tonight. Not doing any more wrenches tonight. It's too time consuming. All right, let's draw. Let's draw. We got 45 people watching, which is awesome. Especially for a last second live stream. So now this brown paper, the reason I got this brown paper was so that it would show better on the live streams, because the white paper just like glow in the dark. Oh, that's good. Did I see Lady Celtic Moon in here? I thought I did, and I was going to put her up on here, but I've lost her now. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. The old man is complimenting the old man. I love that. Yeah, I'm not. I was actually more concerned about getting snubbed by the creators. But I've talked to a couple behind the scenes, and I think we're cool, at least, you know, with some of the ones I know better. So we'll see how that plays out. Gosh, I could have swore is Lady Celtic, there she is. Dear, what you give, you can take away. Dear, what you can give, you can take away. See, by the time I found that, I forgot what that's referring to, but, oh, I see, the wrench, yes. I giveth and I taketh away, exactly. Okay, where are we at? Oh my gosh, I am a, yeah, well, wow, dude, Bull Durham, if that's really a picture of you, that's a freaking impressive beard, man. Because when I see guys with beards like that, I'm like, how do you function with a beard that, I mean, don't you like stuff caught in it and lost in it? I mean, you have to groom that thing. I mean, I don't have any hair, so it's not going to have a lot of grooming I have to do, but I would think a beard like that would be a lot of work. See, David's like, I don't need no stinking wrench. Okay. See, I love how Lady Celtic Moon is so very patient with me. And she's like, yes, dear. You understand the joke. Yes, dear. It takes me a while to catch up, and she knows, and she's very patient with me, and I appreciate that. But do you have a printer and a mailing? Okay, let me try this. Do you have your printer and mailing worked out? Yeah, pretty much. More or less. I have printing options. I haven't got a quote yet because you don't get a quote this early because it's only good for 30 days, sometimes 60 days tops. And with the way the economy is going right now and paper prices, it's pointless. So I will be getting printer quotes in December. And when I can see kind of the end of the line coming up in a few weeks, I'll get printer quotes. And I have a couple of printers that I've used in the past, and yeah, so I have people lined up. Yeah, I'm the mailing strategy. Now, if it gets crazy, if we hit like, 1,500 backers or 1,700 backers, that's going to change my mailing strategy. Okay, if we stay, around 1,000 or less, I can handle it. If we get more than that, I may have to hire someone to package the stuff, or I may just put together my own packaging team. So I'm so hands-on and anal retentive that I just don't like putting that stuff in somebody else's. What if they bent the cover? You know what I mean? It's like, and then I'm responsible for that, and I didn't even pack it. I'm really uptight about that stuff. So I don't know. I may put it together myself using a team of highly trained experts and do it here, regardless, being the first campaign. And then it may be such a horrifying experience that for the second campaign, I will never do it again. But we'll see. What was this? Yeah, I did some cards. Some card art. That's Bo Smith, isn't it? Yeah, that was Bo Smith. It may not have been Bo Smith, but no, Bo Smith was Wynonna Earp. I'm sorry. But I do remember Lady Rawhide because didn't they have some Adam Hughes covers and stuff? I think that's right. He did a stream earlier today. That's why I'm doing it so late. I didn't want. Why would he come on my show? he'd be like taking 145,000 subs hit. So I don't know why he would do that. The sketch. Okay, here's the thing. The sketch. Speak, Aaron. Speak. The sketch options are always available. Not through the campaign because I just can't handle it's too much. But if you want to get you don't go to my website because it'll just sell you the book. This is like a live stream on air kind of thing. So those of you guys who check out my streams and my YouTube channel know about it. People that don't know about it. And that's just how it is because it's a super cheap option to get a sketch in your book. And you guys are getting a tremendous bargain on that. And I don't want it to be this mass thing where, I'm doing hundreds all at once because everybody's it's kind of our little secret. So stuff getting caught in a long beard is just leftovers. Don't be jealous, Aaron. Don't be jealous. All right. I could talk to you guys all night, and I will continue to talk to you, but we need to start drawing. We had 50 viewers, and they're just bored with me talking, so they left. So we got to get them back by drawing, right? Let's see. Trusty sidekick. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Thanks, David. David has a couple of my sketchbooks. There's a few guys in here that have like 6 or 7. It's crazy. But like I said, it's a good deal to get a sketch in it because I only charge $20 for the sketch. Sheldon says, can you hold the sketch up to the screen and I can trace it in my sketchbook? It's pretty funny. And what is this? Aaron doesn't know me yet, so too soon for that. Boo at all the thumbs down, though. What did I miss? Oh, he said KS's. Okay. Mortal 5 is weird seeing your name without a wrench. Oh, I see. So yeah, you haven't, I don't know you well enough to give you a wrench yet. So, yeah, I'll get him back by doing this. I just told Shelly that pretty soon she's be taking over the show and she won't even need me anymore. I'm doing the Invisible Woman because a lot of people, look, I'm done. No, the Invisible Woman because a lot of people would keep requesting that, which is the weirdest thing. I was like, there's sort of this infatuation with Sue Richards. So that's what I'm going to do, I think. Oops, wrong way. Now, hopefully, we won't have any issues with the paper. It doesn't look like it's glowing, does it? No. So let's see. Listen to that crunchy paper. Yeah, it's a little too big. See, look at that. I screwed it up already. My dog finally wandered and he's laying down in a big bag of clothes over there, so. I'll probably have her like fading away, right? Because that would be cool, wouldn't it? Not like that's never been done before, but still. I've never drawn on this paper, man. That is really hard, rough paper, which is fine. That's cool. We'll see what it does. Hey, you can see way better on this brown. I'm just going to go brown or gray paper from now on these live streams because it's just, you can't, the white paper is just awful for these live streams. You know what else? I should be packaging up artwork right now, but I think someone, oh, here we go. What's this Tiger King stuff? Is this another bot crap that we need to get rid of? Somebody with a wrench, help me. Thanks for dropping in, man. Have a good evening. Somebody said they just backed, I was going to get to it and I forgot. I'm sorry. They just backed Wraith of God. I don't know who that was, but thank you. Oh, Dark Admiral March Hare. Wait a second, don't leave. It's a, oh shoot, in a nutshell, it's I don't know, are people disliking my video? Oh, great. Well, you guys, seriously, man, you guys have nothing better to do? Jeez. find it interesting how, I don't know. Why would you like, I, it's like these people, they don't even know me. Why would you waste your time? I mean, what do they think they're accomplishing? See, this is the thing. It's like if you think that if you're if you think that you're doing something morally superior by harassing people or whatever that you think are immorally inferior to you, you're not contributing anything to society. You're doing nothing. Go out and give money to a homeless shelter. Go out and help people. Do something positive. That's how you get some morality credit, not harassing people that you don't even know. God, it's so stupid. All right, I'm done. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys grow up someday and become adults. That's the best all I can hope for. It's really funny because, like, a week ago, I didn't think anybody even knew who I was. Um, oh, my goodness. Mike, I thought you were like keeping these clowns at bay for me. Of course, I'm going. I wonder, Mike's like, what do you think I'm doing? It's so funny. It's like one of those things where, all the pop-up ads keep coming up and you're just like, it's like they're coming up so fast you can't even keep track. I wonder, does this give me like street cred or something? If people are that focused on me that they family lunch and Aussie Tiger, they must have just got Just got off their double shift at Taco Bell with nothing better to do. Got back into their parents' basement and got on the computer. Not that working at Taco Bell is anything wrong with that. I eat there more than I should. I don't like that hand. Um, Ian House says, do you need another wrench? I volunteer my services. Ian, how do I know you're not tricking me? Uh-oh. David's getting after it. I love, look at this Cardman guy. You're a sad life, and everyone else here watching someone draw. It's like, well, what are you doing? You're harassing people who are watching someone draw. That would be probably the ultimate loser, wouldn't it? Oh, what sad world we live in. All right. I think all right, I think it's inking time. I think I am. I'm going to do this like lower half. I might do it in like white pencil, right? To kind of create, that might work. That might be cool. Let's do that. Well, Gold Rest says, I have a happy life. You're wrong. If you're one of the people in here instigating, then I would say your life isn't too happy. I wonder if you get, I mean, I wonder if they offer whoever's, hiring these guys, if they're, do you guys get paid to, I mean, is it like when it says in the want ads, loser wanted? Uh, just curious how you get recruited to doing something so juvenile and such a colossal waste of time. Just curious. I was looking for a way to become more visible. I didn't really plan on doing it like this, but apparently it's worked. Uh, oh my goodness. Jackie Daytona. Of course you do, Sue Storm, when I missed the start. Thanks, Aaron. Hmm. Wild dude. That's true, Mike. It did all start when I gave you the wrench. I love it when some of these guys will come out of the basement. Wild dude like you, for example, come out of the basement and your mom will go, honey, what did you do today? Oh, I went on the internet and was really annoying. Oh, I'm so proud. Hmm. But honey, when are you going to get a real job? Become a real man? Oops. Sorry about that. I don't know. There's something kind of ridiculous about this whole thing, right? Oh my goodness. Oh. Boy, I'm gonna owe Mike money for all the blocking he's having to do. Incredible. Let me get a 5-0. Oh my gosh, I did see this. Yeah, I don't know if it's the Galactus one or not. But $400 is a little steep for me to throw into an action figure right now. Oh, is it like a crowdfunded thing? How about that? Thank you, Ian, for the money. I appreciate it very much, man. My goodness. Yeah, it's too bad Shelly's not here. She'd be going nuts right now. I wonder if any of the I forgot what I was going to say. Something. I keep reading the comments and getting distracted here. Darn it, let me move this camera so it's at a better angle. There. Hmm. Hang on a second here. David Williams wants to come in, so we will bring him in. Pardon the pause here. I'm sure you guys that are harassing in the won't mind a pause, will you, while I do this? Okay, sorry, that's my shoulder. This was always kind of an interesting dynamic, wasn't it? Sue Richards and Namer. In fact, speaking of What If, which we weren't, if you remember the very first issue of the comic back in 1977, was What If Spider-Man had joined the FF, because he almost did, or he tried to in Spider-Man #1, right? But when he found out the job didn't pay, he wasn't interested. But yeah, go ahead. No problem, man. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, it was always. As a kid, I really liked What If. I find the the animated shows. Um, I like the animation, but I find the shows kind of unfulfilling so far. They're a little bit on the short side, and I think it's really hard to get an emotional attachment to the characters in that short a period of time. Um, of course, they're planning on or hoping that you bring that from the movies, but I mean it's kind of fun, but I don't know, hasn't really done a lot for me, I'm afraid. All right, so there's Sue. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use white down here. Oh, there's David. There he is. David in the house. Welcome.
What's
Fun
up,
times.
man?
What's that?
I said, what's up, man?
Just drawn.
Yeah?
You know?
Man, let me tell you something about these trolls. You ready to hear it?
I'm ready. Lay it on me, man.
Don't give up about what they say. Just do you.
Oh, I'm doing me.
Good.
What are you doing to your dog?
I'm choking them out because I'm so upset.
They only bark when you go on air, man.
Exactly.
You know that.
So what you drawing there? Sandy Duncan? I think I used that name before.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Now you should have said like Barbara Eden or something, right?
Yeah. See? That's even better.
I gotta get my shoulder out of the way. That's not working too well.
Yeah.
I think Joe Jusko just posted today had a picture of a painting he did of Barbara Eden as Jeannie, and he was posing with Barbara Eden. I don't know how long ago it was, but that was pretty cool.
Well, anything he does is cool.
Yeah. Mo Big says later, guys. Mo can't take it anymore. Thanks, man.
Thanks for hanging in there.
In the I don't know if this is quite as crazy as that bot stream I had where it was just going nuts, but I am fascinated by people with nothing better to do. I mean, this is actually, what they would consider productive activity. It's mind blowing to me.
I wouldn't be fascinated by it, but
this is as a psychological study,
Sure.
If someone has convinced themselves that they're doing something good, it's amazing.
Hate is a motivating force.
Yeah, especially if it's without foundation. That's what really makes it interesting. But I had somebody on Twitter, basically say he couldn't support anybody who was, a bigot and anti-LGBTQ plus and this, that, and the other, right? And so instead of just saying, "Hey, Aaron, I followed you for a while. I don't like what you're doing. I'm sorry, but I can't, support you, whatever." And you can, at that point, you can kind of say, "Hey, whatever, man. That's your thing. That's fine." But then he like puts in a meme of like, because he had ordered Garbage Man off Amazon. He put up a picture. He took a screenshot of it that he'd canceled the order, and then put on like a GIF of some guy throwing a book, out the door. And I was like, where does this anger come from? This is a guy that I've never said anything mean to or, at all, and only been nice to him when we've corresponded on Twitter. And I was just like, where does that come from?
It's so like grade school. It's not even high school. It's not even junior high. It's so simple-minded simpletons. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's nothing adult about it, but it's nothing but adults doing it.
Yeah. Oh, man. That is the truth. So, how's Bass Reeves coming?
I was taking a little small break because I had to finish some commissions.
Well, can you share any of the commissions with us?
Sure. I was just doing some of the thumbnails, some of the unsolicited commission. Hold on a second.
Sure. Look at that. Ethan got drug away from working on Cyberfrog to come in here. There's apparently so much attention going on about this. Thanks, E, for showing up. Appreciate it, man. The human sunbeam is here. Oh my goodness. Oh, Ethan, the question I want to ask you is, when you have to live stream so much, how do you get any work done? That's the question I'm posing to EVS right now. He says, I was drawing and watching The Sopranos, but I got to check in. Awesome. Oh. John Smith says, well, if it's all these kids who have never known the answer no, they always got a trophy for just showing up, and now state and Fed keeps giving these people free money to stay at home. That's probably right. Jay Lee, giving me some love. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Joe Bernardo's coming in saying, see, Aaron, your speed scared David Slowhawk. Look at that, man. You got guys are coming after you now.
I don't know who the heck that was.
All right, Ethan wants in the house, so I'm going to bring him in. So, okay, I guess on your Twitter feed. So, David, get your show us some art, man, while I'm doing this. Hang on a second. Let me give you full screen. There it is. Okay. Tell the fine folks what you're showing us here.
Oh, these are just some thumbnails I did for some commissions that I'm doing. Here's Ultraman. I don't know. Okay, am I showing that all right? Okay. Syndrome. I gotta flop it though. Superman and Crypto. Gotta flop that too. What else do I got? Spider-Woman.
All right, Ethan, I just dropped it in the our private thing that you and I conversation we've had going on Twitter. So come in when you can. Ooh. All right, now you got to show them again because I didn't see it.
I got to show them all over again?
Yeah. Now, who's that?
Yeah, from Robert Kirkman's thing. Omni-Man, I guess. Mary Marvel.
Bring it down. Oh, nice. So what size are these?
I did them. They're probably like 3 by 5 inches, but I just blew them up just so I could draw them at 11 by 17. Huntress.
Give EVS a
I've been telling you to draw Huntress for I don't know how long.
I've done a Huntress.
Is it on your Instagram?
Probably an old one. The EVS is in the house, so watch out.
Okay.
Aaron, you should change the make 3 widescreen panels. Can you see how to do that on your streamer? There you go. Yeah, that's probably better because people can see all of your drawing now.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, sir.
How you doing? How you holding up?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I mean, it's just again, it's like every experience like this is a new experience, right? It's like "Oh, I thought I'd just do a little drawing tonight, nothing big," and then something like this happens, and you're just like, "Geez, really?"
Well, hold on. First of all, hi, David. How are you? Nice
I'm-
to meet you.
Nice to meet you again.
Yeah. So what's happening? Well, you said something like this is happening. Is there something new that I missed?
Well, no, just we got it. It looks like it's cooled down. I have a couple guys with wrenches in there knocking people out, but we got sort of attacked by trolls for I don't know, about 20 minutes there. It looks like it's died down a bit. But yeah, I was just like, because I had a Twitter bot attack on a show, I don't know, a week ago, and I had no idea, I'd never done wrenches before or anything, so it was just like, I finally had to shut the stream off and restart it. But this is where actually, people coming in and trolling and hitting dislike and all that kind of stuff. And but it looks like it's relatively under control. So,
Yeah, we were trying to figure out like why this was happening to you of all people. I mean, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. What do you think, David?
It's because he's black.
That's why it was happening to me. I know, so I can relate.
No,
Yeah, what
it's
do you think?
we talked about this, the other night, and it was like that had Graham. No one ever bugged Graham. I think Art Taber got it pretty hard, didn't he, when he joined Confiscate and started hanging with the wrong crowd. Because he was obviously very prominent, more so than I was, because the books he worked on and the time in the industry and people he knew. But yeah, I was just really bizarre. I didn't, like I said, when we launched the book, I expected I'd probably take some crap, but I didn't expect anything like this. And it's just like, just really bizarre.
Yeah. Well, so last week I said, actually, was it last week? It was just a few days ago. It's like 4 days ago. I got an insider tip from DC Comics. That Superman, the Jonathan Kent Superman, was gay. They're going to make him gay. It's Tom Taylor's initiative. Right on the heels of Robin being gay,
Right.
So it was just like, a little bit silly. The thing about it was that the Jonathan Kent Superman announcement was going to happen a little later, like 3 or 4 issues from now. So the fact that they were going to announce both of these, that they were going to have 2, like Robin and Superman, gay, be announced as bisexual or gay or queer or whatever, like right on top of each other, so to speak. It's a little awkward, little awkward. That's why there was going to be some time in between the 2 announcements. But I found out about it and I just went, I let everyone know. So I leaked it, and suddenly, just completely unrelated. You're on my live stream. All right. So what we didn't know was that this pissed them off to no end.
Are we talking about DC or the creators?
At DC Comics and all of the SJWs who were kind of connected to this. Because the question is, for a while it was like, is Ethan lying? Is he right? Is he? Right. They found out I was right. Again. So that was again. So they took it out on you, and that's what it was. Because that's what I'm hearing. Yeah. So basically what happened was, DC Comics right now is a magic act with one trick. And I walked right up on the stage and pulled the fucking rabbit right out of the hat in front of everybody. And they didn't have anything else. Okay. So right after they announced Robin was gay, I go, yes, Superman is too. And then all of the media outlets come out and say, is this true? Was Superman gay too? And what the hell is Superman? And they couldn't say, Ethan's wrong or this is a lie. This is a Comicsgate lie, because they knew that's what they had lined up. And from my perspective, it was pretty great because, I won either way. Like either it was going to turn out that I was, they were going to make him gay and I'd be vindicated, or they'd go backwards and decide not to do it just to spite me, and then Superman wouldn't be gay. So either way, I win. Everybody was asking if it was true, and today Bleeding Cool had to confirm it. Bleeding Cool actually confirmed that, yeah, that is what was in the plans, and we yanked that rabbit out of the hat 3 months before they were ready for it.
Oh boy.
So they are pissed right now. They are furious. They're absolutely furious. And on top of that, like, here you come. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look, here's another kind of, a DC pro who is walking away, and he's joining them. So they took it out on you big time. And that's why, it didn't really happen to Graham. It was just a matter of timing, Aaron.
Yeah. So I should feel fortunate, you think? That well, the funny thing is, and you know this obviously, that the more stuff like this happens, the more attention you get and the more attention your project gets, right? So, you have to deal with the slings and arrows, but in the long run, it actually works out because you get more eyes on the project that you're trying to get eyes on anyway. It was just, like I said, it was a bit of a shock because I didn't expect it. But I've had conversations with a couple of the pros that, were friends of mine or are friends of mine that would not approve of Comicsgate or would necessarily hold the same political ideology as you or I or David would. Let's just leave it at that. And they're like, I kind of sort of explained my reasoning and situation and where I was at, and that I did not, despite what they might think or what their experiences may have been in the past, I have not seen any of the, the hate that they're saying that is, pervasive in Comicsgate. And so they were like, well, I don't agree with you, but that's cool. I hope you can still be friends and all that kind of stuff. So that sort of was able to, navigate some of that. And I was more concerned about that because the trolls they're going to be trolls, but I have friends, and it's like, you don't want to lose all your friends. I mean, you like to keep a few of them anyway. So, and it was nice that I was actually able to have a conversation with people about it, and they were, at least controlled and measured about it rather than just, emotionally exploding on me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all right. I mean, I'm getting used to it, and it's really died down on social media. This was kind of tonight was a little bit more of a surprise, but I'm sure there's more surprises in store for me. So I'm getting.
Yeah, I don't know about these bots. I get these bots too every now and then, but I get like porno bots, and
really?
you gotta have. They just go, hot sex, right? And then they have like a link, so you gotta have, somebody in the chat who will shut them down. But they get shut down pretty quick. It's just they're recurring. You get rid of one of them, and then another one will pop up. I don't really know where they come from. I don't know, who sends them. I don't know what it's all about, but
Hillary Clinton.
It's probably Hillary Clinton.
Well, yeah. So I had that experience, and it was just the most bizarre thing. And we could not. I gave wrenches out to people. We couldn't keep up with them because they were just coming in so fast and furious that I just shut the stream down and then came right back on, and it seemed to solve the problem. But yeah, it was crazy.
You think it's related to this? I mean, that's.
Well, no, that was prior to the launch.
Oh, okay.
Just this weird thing.
Yeah.
This is definitely related. What happened tonight was definitely related. So.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. All I can say is that the campaign's going great, and really these are problems you want to have. I mean, you want to have everybody talking about you one way or the other, even if they're grumbling about you. It's mostly out of envy. I really do think if your campaign failed, they wouldn't have cared. I think they would have just been like, ah ha ha. Yeah. Serves you right. But it's doing good. You're nearly at $56,000 in the first 6 days, and that's great. And that's great. You're headed to six figures on your big campaign here. So you're gonna get even if it weren't SJWs, you're gonna get some people who envy you and are to be rude about it.
Yeah, that seems inevitable. What is we talked a little bit about this last night, but since we're talking about campaign strategy and stuff, what is your feeling on this 60-day thing? Again, kind of want to hear your logic on it.
Well, I mean, what we found, is that, Indiegogo lets you extend once for your funding period. They let you do a maximum of 60 days funding. And then you can stay open indefinitely for your, in-demand store, if that's what you want to do. John Malin has his own way of doing it. He doesn't stay open as an in-demand store. He believes, in FOMO, using that to get people to back and give him higher numbers. It works for him, but ultimately, I think keeping the thing open is better. But the reason why is because you have new people who stumble across your campaign. It's like you've got the people who are in our circle who watch our show all the time. They know that you're going to go for 60 days, and they'll back you when they feel like backing you. But the way it kind of works is that people who stumble across your campaign for the first time, they'll either back you. You'll get the most backers in your first 24 hours, where you will get a third of the backers of your total backers, all at once, all at one day. And then immediately after hour 48, it's going to take a nosedive. And I mean, it's going to be frustrating, Aaron. You're going to think you're doing something wrong. Your campaign is going to crawl. But, as I always say, this is, during these days in between your first 24 hours and your last 24 hours, it's a game of inches. It's not a game of yards. You just want to move the football just a little bit, a couple of steps. Can you make $200 today, $1,000 tomorrow? Whatever it is, you've got those 28 days to move that ball. And then your last 24 hours will be huge. It'll be another 1/3 of your campaign. So the middle period is going to be a third. Anyway, if you extend it at that point, at the very last minute, you're going to go right into another 30 days or 29 days of doldrums. But those last 24 hours, you're going to get another 24-hour period where, boom, you're going to make a lot of money again. So you get two 24-hour closeouts. Now, I mean, people have different ideas, like, well, maybe I won't do the full 60 days. Maybe I'll do 15 days and then extend it another 15 days, and I'll get two 24-hour periods that way. That's a strategy. You could try that. For me, I always do the full 60 days, and then I just leave it open for a little while. And then while it's an in-demand store, it's going to crawl. But then you announce, I'm closing the in-demand store. And then when you announce I'm closing the in-demand store, then boom, all of a sudden another big flood of backers come in last minute. People will back it. That's been my strategy. That's been the most successful way. I always, I never have my book finished. I might have 5 pages of it done. I'm going to spend a year drawing the book, the project, the 2 books that are part of the campaign. And then, I'll leave the campaign open for a little while. And then right when the book goes to print, like when Wreck Planet goes to print, I will open it again, second chance campaign. And that'll be another $200,000 that's added to my campaign. So that's, people are like, well, I missed it. It was 8 months ago that the campaign closed down. Where is it? You open it up again for a second chance campaign, and then boom, another big flood of money comes in. And that's good, because the shipping costs of this stuff is absolutely incredible. So, anyway, that's what I do.
What do you factor in? I mean, when you're just kind of estimating, see, we got another one jumped in there right now. If you can see the chat,
Ignore them. Yeah, let your wrenches take care of them.
So, what do you estimate your shipping cost per customer generally is? Is there a number out there that you'd like to, when you're trying to figure out your budget?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm in a whole different stratosphere than you, because we're making toys,
Well, yeah, but I'm just on your comic book. Say your first campaign that was just the Cyber Frog comic. Do you have any recollection of that? Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna ask you. I'm going to talk to you about this. I think this is probably a good idea. You're going to have to get Gemini mailers. We're going to tell you how to do it. You know,
Right.
we'll teach you how to use stamps.com and everything like that so that you can actually fulfill from your home. Just expect that you're going to take a month
Right.
to do nothing but become a fulfillment and shipping center in your home. You might get a little drawing done, but I
Right.
just got done shipping warts and all, and I was in my warehouse signing thousands and thousands of hardcovers and doing sketches and everything like that. And then on top of that, doing live streams. It's a lot of work fulfillment. This is not like being a regular comic book artist. This is like running a small business, and you just have to accept that.
Right.
What does it cost? So get some Gemini mailers. They're about maybe $1 each.
I priced those out. I was just curious what I'm trying to do, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I'm trying to do is kind of figure out, okay, you're at 800 backers. Let's say you're at 1,000 backers because it's a nice round number, right? And so you say, okay, I got to ship out 1,000 packages. On average, those are going to, because you got some bigger ones and you got some single issues that people are, and you're going to send them out media mail. So you've got, it's going to be about the same price for a certain amount of books before that number goes up. So and I was factoring in probably just to be safe, like $10 a person.
Yeah, that's what I do. I will count like I'll estimate $10 to $12 per backer, and that for like in the United States it'll cost about $8 to mail first class. And really, I mean, you should mail first class. It's one step above media. It's better. Just the fact of the matter is that what media mail says, the definition of what media mail is. They actually use the word comic books are not permitted to be shipped media mail because comic books have ads in them. And you might say, well, that's not fair because I'm doing a graphic novel with no ads. They don't care. They're just going to if they open one of your packages that says media mail on it and inspect it, they're going to say, fuck this, it's a comic book. And they're going to kick it back to you. They're going to cause you trouble. And this happened to me during the Blood Honey campaign. Quite a few times packages were returned because these are comics. It's not, and you can't, it's like you can make the argument, but try making that argument to 100 different postal inspectors all over the world. Like they don't, it's not worth the risk. So spend the extra $2 and send it first class. It says first class on the front of the package. Your customers feel respected. And the package actually takes some priority over media mail, which is the last thing that, that arrives slow boat. They don't care about it. So I would say first class. I always count. I go $12 just to be safe. $12 times the number of backers, and you have a rough estimate of how much money you're going to need to fulfill. Because you've got the packaging, you've got the bag and board. There are all these little hidden costs that go into shipping. So I mean, if you're just shipping a comic book. You're shipping it first class. You've got a Gemini mailer. You got a bag and a board in there, or maybe 2 bags and boards, however many books that you've got in there. You're safe estimating $10 to $12 per backer. Put that money aside, and basically it's going to average out right. Your domestic is going to be lower, obviously, than your international. Sometimes it'll cost $25 to ship international first class. Sure. Yep. Pain in the ass, but it all does kind of average out to be about $12.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I mean, I did check. I mail art out everywhere, and I've got my hardcover sketchbooks I've been mailing out for a year and a half, so I have a pretty good idea. And of what the international shipping. And I checked all that stuff. Obviously, I know Australia is a little bit more expensive than the rest of the world, Europe and stuff. So. I think I factored it in all correctly. I just like to crunch numbers a lot. So I was just curious what you guys, were thinking in terms of, that long-term, overall mailing cost. And that's what I've been figuring is about $10.
Yeah, it's safe to do that. You've got 740 right now. I mean, yeah, you're looking at, $7,000, $8,000 in shipping fees there.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it's time. I mean, more than anything, it's frustrating because you want to be working on your next project and you're sitting there shipping things, but wow, that looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
it's a good time. I don't know if Shelly's going to help you or you know what the plan is, but you know,
Oh, she'll help me. I got my
cool.
90-year-old mother who's quite healthy. I just warned her. I said the other day, I said, yeah, when March rolls around, but get ready to ship. So we'll set up a table and grandma will be folding the mailers over. So it'll be a good time.
No, it's fun. I also want to tell you, you know, this is my advice.
Yes.
That a lot of comic skaters don't really take into consideration because they're thinking, well, I'm going to ship the books, I'm going to print the books and ship the books, and whatever's left over is my profit. But I'm going to advise you to, when it comes to printing your comic books, first of all, overprint by 5% to accommodate for damaged books and lost books. You're going to need to do that.
Yeah.
But the other thing is just above and beyond that, I would say overprint by 20% and open an eBay store. This is, I can't even tell you, like, people are handing you money. Okay. They're like, let's say they're paying you $25 for one of your comic books. One of your comic books might cost to print $5, $6. You know, you've got another $20 sitting there. I would use that money to print 4 more comics or at least 3 more comics and sell those for $30 on eBay. And that's how to blow it up. And we, you know, our eBay store is a huge percentage of our profits come from there. I mean, we overprint everything and we just put it on eBay, and we're making $40,000-$50,000 a month on eBay. It just all in profits selling. I mean, we have way more product than you have. We have lots of product from just all the campaigns that we've done. But I mean, that's where the money is. Like the money that comes from these Indiegogo campaigns, you spend it. I mean, you end up spending it making the product, but the key is to just make enough so that you can have a business, a store that's always open. People are going to come to you and say, I missed this book. I missed the one before this. And you're going to want to make sure that you can just give them a link and let them buy it right away, rather than just add it to another campaign, another Indiegogo campaign. Put it somewhere where people can get it all the time. So overprint, you know, make sure that you have lots of product, because, you know, if you can make something for $1 and sell it for $5, spend all those extra dollars that you have and maximize your profits, maximize your business.
Yeah, I was planning on overprinting, you know, significantly, so that, like you said, that 20% or whatever, so that you've got that stuff to sell, because I do realize that you're going to have people coming in late all the time and, you know, missed their opportunity, and they're like, I didn't even know about it. That's always cracks me up, because you think you've got such visibility, right, with social media, YouTube channel and stuff, and yet there's people that I never even saw this, you know, 6 months after you've done it, you know, and so I think it's probably, I agree with you, it's smart to have the extras, because you're going to use them at some point.
I mean, just remember, I mean, this is you're starting your family business here. And so, you know, you want to make sure that you've got supplies, you've got product to do, product to sell at all times. And you start out small, just, you know, you've got your first book. Are you going to do a sequel to this, to Wraith of God?
Yeah, that's my goal. I've got some other stuff I want to launch. So I'm toying with the idea of maybe doing a 64-page anthology that features Wraith of God, but then has a couple of the other characters like Kit Carter or Garbage Man stories in it as well. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but I'm kind of looking at that to see if that's a possibility.
Yeah. Just keep my ear to the ground and listen to what my customers are saying.
Right.
What do they like? You know, it's like, do they like Garbage Man, or do they like Wraith of God? Or maybe you try something else. And whatever it is they're responding to, you just give them more of that.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the smart thing, right? And it's being so early in this, you know, obviously got really good response to Wraith of God. So, you know, you're going to assume they're going to want more when it's done. So yeah, I'm not going to kick it to the curb and just go, I'm going to try something different now and see how that does. I think that's, you know, if you have a successful campaign, then that means people like the product. So give them some more of it. We certainly have another story planned for the character. So at this point, so.
Yeah, it's good. Well, we'll be here. I mean, you know, I'm I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing this for I'm doing this as long as I can. You know, I love this. I love Comicsgate. I love crowdfunding, and I love doing live streams. Together, it all kind of works. So I will be here to help. And you know, in the meantime, John Malin would say, build up your channel, Aaron. You know, build up your platform, and take stuff like this. This is just attention. I know it feels like shit. It really does. It's like, you know, when you're being attacked like this, it feels awful. But it's attention. The eyes are on. People are looking at you, and that's the moment where it's time to tap dance. When you have an audience, when you have people looking at you, you know.
Right, exactly. That's when you bring on EVS to bump your numbers. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, I'll always do it. Mike reminds me that I'm cursing. Sorry, Mike, and sorry, Aaron. Yeah.
That's right. This is a no swearing. I must have slipped by. I wasn't paying attention.
My bad.
No, I appreciate it. Someone in the chat earlier, it said you should bring EVS on, and I was like, the guy's got 145,000 followers. What the heck would he want to come on this show for? And then you showed up, so I was like,
well, I mean, look, I consider myself an ambassador for this thing of ours. So I show up on other people's channels all the time, and smaller ones and stuff. It's not, you know, it's not about me, and I want other people to do well too. So you know, I'm here to help.
Do.
That looks great, man.
Thanks. Just have a little fun, keep the kids happy, and yeah, while we're doing this,
you messed up, Aaron.
What's that?
You messed up. She's supposed to be black now.
Oh, is that I didn't. Well, I mean, thanks for calling me on that, man. I need that information because I don't really read what's going on currently, so I need that little bit of information.
So add more.
Yeah. Speaking of campaigns, let's take a look at this video for a second that I spent a lot of money on, shall we? That's cool. If you guys want to back the campaign, it's called Wraith of God, and it is live right now on Indiegogo. It's blowing up. We're trending. It's doing really well. The link is in the description of this video that you're watching. So please give it a visit and back if you can. That's the same guy that made Graham Nolan's video, and I think he did Andy's as well.
Is that Ascension Cinema?
No, it was oh dang, I'm gonna forget the guy's name. I feel bad. I know that's terrible, isn't it? Gosh darn it, what is that? That'll come to me in a minute. But yeah, Andy hooked me up with them, and I really hit him on late notice, you know, because I had sent him an email and he never got back to me. So I guess it got stuck in his spam blocker. So I waited like another week and a half, and then I got him like just literally 2 weeks before I was ready to launch, and sent him the thing. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, 2 weeks is not much time." And I'm like, "Come on, man, you can do it." So it's just a minute. It's only a minute long, and I only got limited artwork, and so he did a great job. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
So,
I love trailers. I get excited. I'm like excited about. I just want to finish Cyberfrog 2 so I can, you know. I want to dream up the Cyberfrog 3 trailer, and I just hear music, and I think about imagery, and I think about these trailers being like you know, movie trailers. Like I just want to create a mood. You know, I want to create like a real like, this is where we are. This is where we're going. If you read the prior one, you know this one's going to be taken us here. And I was just I listened to, I have a whole Cyberfrog playlist of songs that, you know, just put me where I need to be. And you know, the first song, I've never bought like a really expensive trailer like that. I just showed Jay Lee's drawing kind of go from sketch to completion, and then I showed a few frames of establishing shots from Cyberfrog 2, and then just played Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore. And it was like, when I saw it myself, and I don't know how it's going to hit other people may go, that's a corny video with the whatever it is. But when I saw it, like, it gave me goosebumps over my own work. You know, it's like the idea that, you know, it's such a sad song, and it's you know, it evokes just you know, mourning and literally, you know, it's like I actually showed these gigantic hive ships in the sky above Philadelphia blocking out the sun, and here are our friends and where they are now. You know, I love that, making a trailer that just it doesn't need to be pricey. You don't need to invest in it. Just try to make somebody feel something about where you're going with the comic book.
Yeah.
You know, and fuck Google too. What is this guy doing?
No, we say Fook.
Google. Sorry.
It says, do you, bro or EVS, think that after all heroes have been changed to different races, that older art will be worth more or less? I don't think it's a serious question. Is it? Maybe it is. Well, I think, yeah. Well, I mean, after a while, you know, any artwork starts to become classic, right? Considered classic stuff that we maybe were trying to buy in the 80s, which would have been like Silver Age art, right? And then you get into the 90s and the 70s stuff starts going up, and now you've got guys that produced art in the 90s, and that's considered now like classic art almost, you know? So I think it's just, you let 20 years go by and it doesn't matter what it is. But I think if you know, if you have all the characters changed, whether it's, you know, costume changes, whether it's diversity changes, whether it's, you know, skin color changes or nationality changes, whatever, you go back to, and those classics don't exist like they used to, then that, I would imagine that stuff's going to go through the roof.
There just has to be a demand for it. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, if people want the, you know, race swapped versions of these characters, that artwork's going to do better. But as long as there's a demand for any of this stuff, it's going to, you know, it'll do fine. I don't know that there will be. I think that we are it. I just think that when it comes to comic book art, our generation is it. We are the customer base. I don't know if there's a younger customer base coming up behind us that wants to buy Jim Steranko art. I have to think no.
That's a next point. I think I might agree with that. And that was I had a friend of mine, another artist, told me one time. He said, you know, all I have to do is stay employed until, because all the art collectors and comic collectors are about our age. So all we have to do is stay employed until we all retire, and then it won't make any difference, you know, because that'll be it. And that is an interesting concept, because, and it makes you wonder, someone that drops, you know, $100,000 on a Kirby page or something, you know, 30 or 40 years from now, are there going to be other collectors that are interested in getting Kirby, or is that stuff going to lose some value? It's an interesting concept.
Just like you know, I don't know. It's a depressing thought, but I always kind of go, you know, we're just 2 generations away from nobody knowing who the heck Elvis Presley is. Right. I mean, really, you know, it's like you're famous, you're relevant for you know, a certain number of generations. I mean, a legend like Elvis, you know, will be forgotten eventually. Right. You know, there used to be great big stars of radio who nobody knows anymore. They were super famous 100 years ago, and now nobody cares. So, you know, vaudeville stars, who cares? You know, only the very best of them. So I don't know if, like, Kirby, you know, I don't know if it, you know, past us, let's just say, you know, we're dead, and you know, the next generation, will they be collecting Jack Kirby artwork? You know, maybe. I'd say no. I'd say it's time to create new stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
Me? Yeah, sure.
As a creator and working in Marvel and DC as long as you did, and you being able to touch, the apex of all of those characters, which gives you more satisfaction, doing that stuff or doing your own character?
See, you expect that I'm going to like just say,
I'm
well,
not
what I'm
asking.
doing right now. Yeah.
I'm not asking that for me. This is like what a fan would. I know what the answer is, but
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, here's the thing: like working at DC Comics, and there's something about receiving all of the plaudits of your peers. There's something about, and I understand why people do what they do. It's like it is fun to get paid in backslaps, and stuff like that. It's like when you turn in something like Sinestro Corps War #1, which was like probably the apex of my career at DC Comics. Like I was nominated for an Eisner for Best Penciler or Inker, and I could have had anything I wanted at DC Comics at that point. 2007 DC Comics, but and it was fun. But was I creatively fulfilled? I felt like I was being controlled. I felt like I didn't really have much of a say. It's like, Jeff, what do you want to do? Jeff Johns, what do you was still on a leash, was not being paid commensurate to what my work was earning. And certainly when Blackest Night happened, it's like Blackest Night was just a bonanza of cash for DC Comics. And it was just, it was some kind of like frenetic like thing that I thought up at 3 a.m, and I didn't even get to work on it. It's like I didn't even get to work on. Everybody else got to do Blackest Night. I didn't get to do any of it. Not even. I got to do 2 variant covers, but like the entire DCU was like Blackest Night, and I just looked bitterly at that whole thing. So even if I had worked on it, there's no possible way. I mean, that made probably tens of millions of dollars for DC Comics, and I would have been paid $20,000, $40,000. It's just not fair. I mean, no matter what, it's just not fair.
Now, why weren't you working on it? Were you out the door at that point, or were you just involved in something else?
I was coming up with stuff with Jeff Johns left and right. We were fighting to bring back Barry Allen, and it's like I was talking to. Flash was in real trouble. Like they had 3 different creative teams relaunch Flash. They made Bart Allen the Flash, that flopped. They let Mark Waid do this kind of Wally Weston children run on Flash, which flopped. And Flash was just in real trouble. So, Jeff Johns and I were just like, let us bring back Barry Allen. Let us do Barry Allen. So in the meantime, we had planned, we figured they would say yes to us eventually. But in the meantime, we were building Blackest Night. And one day Jeff Johns called me up and he just kind of said, hey, I got good news for you, buddy. They're saying they're letting us have Barry Allen back. And I mean, that was like phenomenal because the answer was always, Barry died a hero's death. We want to respect that. And we'd say that was 26 years ago. Nobody cares. Like, bring him back, bring him back. And he said, we're allowed to do Barry Allen. And I said, that's great. So we'll do Flash Rebirth after Blackest Night. And he goes, nope, they're running them concurrently. You have to choose.
Oh.
And I just went, son of a bitch. And I again, excuse my language. I just thought about it for a little while. I prayed about it. And just went, what do I do? This is a corner. This is a fork in the road of my career because there's no good choice here.
Right.
And I just I decided I would rather be the guy who brought back Barry Allen and Hal Jordan. Like I did both of those. And I could just come back. I'm sure I could come up with another, Green Lantern event. That was my reasoning. So I did it, and I'm working on Flash Rebirth with Jeff, and he is working on Blackest Night, and that is taking all of his energy. I mean, it's taking all of his concentration. He's got all these different creative teams working on it, all these extra. He writes Flash 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he calls me up and he goes, "Hey, Ethan, how do you think this ends?" And I was just like, what do you mean? He's like, where do we go from here? And I was like, you don't know? Like, this is your story. And he was like, no, let's just talk it through. So we had to write 5 and 6 together. He hadn't even thought about how the thing was going to end. And I was like, I chose poorly. It's like I'm Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and I chose poorly. And I had this whole thing. I was just like, Jeff, like if we've got the Flash, I just said, I got this concept about like the Thawne family, Reverse Flash, and then the Allen family, and I said this is all about family. Like the theme of what we're doing here should be about elitist, educated snobs, the Thawnes, who are all about their bloodline. Like you're related to me by blood, and that's we're family. Versus the Flash family, which is like it's not about blood. It's about love, it's about we're connected by friendship. And so that, the Allens, the Wests, the Garricks, all of these people, the Quick family, they are a family. They're all a family together because they love each other and they care about each other. And that's what's really important. It doesn't matter that we're related by blood or not. And that's the difference. And so they're blue collar, and they're all American. And then you've got the Thawnes that are highly educated, collegiate snobs who understand the Speed Force and look down on the white trash, Allen family. And I said, this is what it should be. Like we should really. And then you've got Bart Allen, who's half Allen and half Thawne. He's like a mixed breed kid. And it's like, who are you? Like, are you with us? Are you with them? And it just making him this pivotal figure that would eventually become this character called Godspeed. And that is why Max Mercury is watching him so carefully. I know, I'm sorry. I won't curse. That's why.
This is a family stream. I had to read it. It isn't. All right,
sorry.
there you go. You're ruining my ratings. Disney's going to take me off the air.
I know. I'm sorry, but that's how it. This is like this stuff gets me excited, And so it's like, so you've got this whole thing where like Bart Allen is going to grow up to be this character called Godspeed, and they took that name from me too, and he was going to be like this ultimate Flash. Who it's like that's why Max Mercury has to watch him because he's all over. He's like a pinball. He's everywhere, and you need to be controlled and raised properly like a Jedi, so that he can attain his full destiny. But when he does, is he going to be an Allen or is he going to be a Thawne? And so all of this was tremendously exciting to me. And I pitched it to Jeff, and he went, "I just don't see it."
What?
He goes, "I just don't think there's anything there." And I went, and kind of fell into a 2-year depression, like where, I wasn't really doing much. And DC offered me Superman, and I said, no, thank you. Yeah. And I just didn't, I don't know. So, I mean, like right there, like that was the roller coaster going down for me. And I developed this bad attitude. Like, it doesn't matter like how inspired you are. If you don't have complete control of what you're doing, if you are not a singular auteur creative voice, somebody could just tell you no, and that's it, and that's it. So
then
long answer.
You regret doing the Flash Rebirth as opposed to doing Blackest Night?
No, I don't. No, I don't have any regrets. Like it would be silly to regret that. Either way, I would have gotten screwed over. I mean, but what I'm appreciative of is the fact that I was given no choice but to become that auteur. So now I can do, I have no choice. I am going to be in complete control of everything I do. And if I have an idea, I get to do it. And if it's not good, the customers will tell me, the readers will tell me. But there's not going to be anybody to tell me no anymore. And for that, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for working with Jeff and everything, but we disagreed. I thought my idea for Flash was better than Flashpoint and all of this other stuff. I thought it would have led to something that would have been, it's what the Flash TV show is right now. It would have been something that would have lasted. But
now, why didn't you had big plans or big dreams for Plastic Man? And I remember actually talking to Dan DiDio because I had a Plastic Man idea too. And he was like, no, that's Ethan's. But you never were able to get that going. Was that just because you could just never fit it in, or what happened there?
Yeah, I'm slow. At my best, when I'm really working on something, I can do 100 pages a year. So 5 issues or something a year. I could
Right.
push myself to 6. So, whenever I thought maybe now will be Plastic Man, DC would say, yeah, but what about Superman and Batman? What about this instead? Or maybe we can put Plastic Man in this other bigger thing. And so, they would sort of satiate my desire to do Plastic Man by letting me do a 2-page story with Mark Waid about his origin, and then put me on something like Batman, that was they knew would make money. I mean, one of the real problems was I'd priced myself out of doing something like Plastic Man because my page rate was so high.
That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, do that you in a weird way, creatively, you can screw yourself over by making too much money, and they go, well, because I lost when I was working on Justice League International during the New 52, I was doing the covers for the first 2 issues, and it actually sold better than they thought it was going to. Right? I think the initial numbers on the first issue were like 65,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a second-rate Justice League book. That's pretty good. Dan Jurgens was writing. It was a fun book. But they took the covers away from me after 2 issues and gave them to David Finch, because Finch had a contract to do X amount of covers a month or whatever, and they had to find a title that was selling well enough that could justify his cover rate. And it just happened to be my book, and I was furious, but they said, well, sorry, that's just the way it is. And then he did a great job on the covers. I love his work, but that's beside the point, right?
Yeah.
But it is interesting how you can get guys priced out so that you can only work on certain things. But I guess that sort of continues to raise your visibility, but it doesn't necessarily creatively satisfy you, right?
Yeah, you don't get. I mean, when you get paid the super high page rate, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, they make decisions for you that are not based on what you want to do, but what will justify your page rate.
Right.
So, I mean, it's great if all you want to do is Justice League, Batman, and Superman. You're in the right place. And Green Lantern, we made Green Lantern and do a big deal. But if you want to do something like Plastic Man, which is a C or D level DC character, even they're taking a chance. They don't know. I mean, they let Jeff Johns do Aquaman with Ivan Rice, the biggest team, because they knew that they could elevate that D-list character into the stratosphere, which is what they did for the most part. But they don't. They don't make that choice easily. So, they would always say, no, Plastic Man is yours, but,
right.
And
you can't do them.
yeah, never got to do it. I've lost interest in it. It's not something that I would do now and under any circumstances. I've talked about it enough,
Yeah, it's funny that when you're away from the mainstream, like me, I've been out of it for about a year now, and you find that, and especially what they're, if you don't agree with what they're doing with the characters, which a lot of us obviously don't, you find your desire to say, well, if Spider-Man suddenly doesn't look all that interesting anymore, and especially when you have an opportunity to do your own thing, like you said, when you're in total creative control, you take the rewards and you take the hits if it doesn't do well, but at least it's you, right? And it's your responsibility, and I'm okay with that. It's when you're stuck working on something you don't like, or you're working with someone that you don't think is doing a good job, and then if it tanks, and then you take the hits for it, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm only partially responsible for this, and that always ticked me off. I'm always willing to take the hits. If I wrote it and drew it, and I either inked it or I got the inker I wanted, if it doesn't work, then you don't have anybody to blame but yourself, but I'm ready to take that blame. But I didn't like having stuff not turn out, and then because you're the most visible person in the room as the penciler, you're taking the hit because it didn't work out, and you're like, well, there's a few other factors involved here that might have been working against me too.
Yeah. I had that big. I also, there are 2 different kinds of professionals that you can be. You can either be a workhorse, or you can be an Orson Welles type. You can be the guy who, like, hey, I can do a book over a weekend if you need me to finish up a book, and then that will be who you are. They will turn to you and they will give you the gigs that they know aren't going to sell very well, but they need to get the book out.
Right.
and you'll make a lot of money at that for a long time. Or you can be kind of more of the auteur type where it's like, look, I only take big projects, and it might take me 2 years to finish it, but it is what it is. So I was that guy for a long time, and I built up the page rate that suggested that I was that guy. I got big project after big project after big project, and then I got married, and I still had, I got remarried, and I still had that big fat page rate, and then I suddenly said to him, I want to be a monthly guy now. I'm going to cash in. So just send me work, and I'm just going to do it as quick as I can, and I'm going to enjoy, this page rate that I've earned. And that isn't, I mean, how long is that going to last,
Right. How did you end up, were you working on Firestorm or something? Wasn't that one of the last things you were working on?
Firestorm was like 2011. That was the New 52, and Dan said, you want to do Superman? And I'm glad I said no to that, because it wasn't anything like Superman. I didn't like the New 52 Superman.
Go ahead.
Oh, they said, what do you want to do? I said, I'll write or I'll plot. I'll give you an idea for Firestorm, but I didn't do much of it.
Did they think Firestorm was going to be big? I mean, it seemed to me like, so that was weird to put you on it. I guess that's what I'm getting at. It seemed kind of strange to have you on that.
Yeah, that's just what I told them I wanted. I just said, I don't care. Like, I'll do Firestorm. I have an idea about the Cold War and nuclear arms proliferation, arms race. I'll blend that into Firestorm, and we'll see how that goes. And I had Gail Simone write it, and Gail and I were just like, hey, we should do something together. And she didn't want to do that. She had no interest in in Firestorm. I kind of like talked her into it. And so it wasn't really going to work out, because she just didn't share my vision and didn't really care, so.
Well, I got offered, right when I finished my run on Wonder Woman, I got offered Superman, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, this is great. This is the next step for me. And then, but I had learned, having been in the industry as long as I had, and we all have, that I asked, I guess Matt Idelson was the editor, and I said, Matt, who's writing and what's the story? And he said it was, who's the Babylon 5 guy, the writer?
J. Michael Straczynski.
Yes. Okay, and I'm not a big fan of his comic book work, because I think it's really slow. Mm-hmm. And they were going to do the Superman Walks Across America. And I said, this is my opportunity to do Superman, and this is what you're giving me. And so I said, I'm not doing it, because I figured I'm going to do 12 issues of boring Superman, and then they're going to move me off the title, and everybody's going to remember me as that horrible Superman run. And so I was like, I wouldn't have anything to do with it. And that's how I ended up on Justice League. But it ticks me off that I never really got that opportunity to draw a Superman.
Oh, Aaron, I mean, that's nothing. Like, you remember Rags Morales?
Yes. Yeah.
Poor Rags Morales had just finished up Identity Crisis and was red hot. Just scalding hot, like awesome, ready to go. And he wanted Wonder Woman. And I mean, he wanted to be on Wonder Woman. And it was just like, yes, Rags Morales is going to do Wonder Woman. So he goes over there, and Greg Rucka was writing him a 10-issue arc where Wonder Woman had been blinded and was wearing a blindfold over her eyes.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And it just killed him. It just killed his career. I mean, it just absolutely, it's like, I'm like, what are you going to do with that original art, dude? It's Wonder Woman with a blindfold over her eyes for 10 issues.
Oh, gosh, that's terrible. Isn't that funny how often stuff like that happens, though? I mean, yeah. My goodness. When I first went over to DC, I was supposed to take over Power Girl or start Power Girl. Mm-hmm. And then Terry left Wonder Woman and became open. And I was like, I didn't really want to follow Terry, because he had a really successful run on it. And Mike Martz was like, are you out of your mind? He goes, you get to work on one of the big three. You work on one of the big three. And so I said, so I thought about it. And so I went ahead and I took Wonder Woman. And then, of course, Jimmy Palmiotti and what's her name? I'm sorry. His wife is
Amanda Conner.
Yeah, Amanda Conner get on that book, and it becomes this huge hit. And she's like catapulted to superstardom. And Wonder Woman did okay. Wonder Woman always does okay, but it wasn't like explosive, And so that was like one of those things I was just going, oh,
Yeah, you
dummy.
should have known better than that, Aaron. I mean, honestly, I remember an editor who will go unnamed at DC Comics. We were talking about why Wonder Woman wasn't selling and why DC Comics wasn't that enthusiastic about her. This was around 2000, 2001. And he said, would you want to be with her? And I really thought about it, and I went, I don't even think of her that way. I mean, it's like, you don't even think of her, and he used the F word, but it's like, you don't even think of her that way right now. I mean, now maybe you do. She's been, her new image and Gal Gadot and everything. She's beautiful. But I mean, think about like 2000, like, no, like there's something Ace just, no. And he said, that's kind of why, we had Wonder Woman did really, really well when we had, what's his name? The Brazilian guy, the artist.
Deodato.
Deodato.
Yeah.
Because he really like sexed her up and,
Right.
It did really well then, it's like, but since then, like, John Byrne came in and did a very traditional take on her and, it's like it just didn't really do too well. And on top of that, like DC Comics has a really lousy deal with the family of the original creator, where they get everything. I mean, they just they get a huge amount of royalties on Wonder Woman, so they don't even bother trying. The Wonder Woman movie was a huge hit. The family was very happy. DC was kind of like, we finally get one past the goalie, and we don't get to cash in. The family's getting all this money.
Oh, that's funny.
Power Girl was always a lot more sexy.
Yeah,
she had sex
that's
appeal.
True. That would have been a much smarter way to look at it. So Shelley Showtime's in the house. You just dropped by.
The Shredder just showed up.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I was just doing a live show by myself, and I got attacked by trolls. They just went nuts, right? So I'm handing out wrenches to people to shut them down. No, they did. And so then we got all this attention because I was getting troll attacked. And so David's like, bring me in, man. And then 5 minutes after he came in, Ethan shows up and goes, bring me in, man. So it turned into this.
Where?
Oh, they're way back. They've left a while ago. But yeah, it was.
They're lucky I wasn't here. I would have reached through the internet.
They're just fake. They're not even real people. They're just bots that say the same thing over and over again to flood your chat and ruin your day.
I have one that keeps going, quit harassing me. I go, you are the one that started it. And obviously you keep responding, so you must want to chat. This one Jenny or something, Jen. I'm like, seriously, get over yourself.
Good times.
But it's dying down. It was anyway.
Yeah. It's getting better. So
you guys are Showtime, Shelley.
Well, gentlemen, I'm finished with my drawing, which was sort of the purpose for me doing this. I got a new pad of brown paper, so I wanted to. I keep doing these live streams and drawing on white paper, but the reflection from the overhead lights is so bad you can't hardly see the pencil when I'm drawing on it. So I thought I'm getting toned paper. Yeah, thank you. So I got some toned paper, and actually people could actually see what I was drawing for a change. So anyway,
was that a commission for somebody, or was that just for fun?
Just for fun, just for I'm sure someone will pick it up. They usually do.
Yeah, but, someone in the chat was like, "How do you buy that?"
All you have to do is email me. That's all you have to do, or Facebook, or on Twitter. Just let me know, and
Don't Twitter. Don't Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter's the devil.
That's right.
Whatever drawings Aaron does, you can PayPal me at.
David, you get a haircut? Looking good.
Look at that.
I like it.
I know. Thanks.
Yeah. So, are you, David? Show your stuff again, real quick, will you?
Excuse me.
All right, hold on.
His art.
Oh.
Because he's. I'm going to give you full screen here for a minute because I want to take a look at this stuff. Now these are just these are the smaller layouts, right? And then you blew them up.
Yeah.
We got Ultraman. And these are going to be 11 by 17 when you're done with them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great
not Gay Robin.
I like that one.
Yep. Very cool.
Wow.
Spider-Woman. I didn't catch that one before. So this is going to be 11 by 17. Are these going to be full color?
No, just black and white.
Okay. And that's the mustache dude from where again?
Invincible.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Hello,
Mary
Mary
Marvel.
Marvel. Love that. Look at that.
That's fun.
That's sweet. Daredevil. Nice.
Are these commissions that you're doing? Are these like sketches for commissions?
Yeah, just unsolicited commissions where I had some spare time to knock some
You just
pieces
gonna
out.
do these and put them up for sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna keep my eye on that, man. Show me them when they're done. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Another Robin. Look at
Oh
that.
man. Oh, that's nice. I like his face.
No, no, that's cool. Yep. Wolverine.
Mhm.
Always been a big fan of David's work. I always
David's a
loved
rare talent. Just ask him.
it. Power Man. No. Okay. What?
It's the original Wonder Man.
That's Wonder Man.
I know. What prompted you to think? Okay, that's a good thing to do a spec.
Yeah, nobody
commission.
wants that. Nobody likes Wonder Man.
Power Man. Power Man. Don't even know who that is. Maybe he'll show up in one of the movies. Man, you did a lot of these. Ooh, that's cool.
David, are you bored? Do you want something to do? Because, like, you know, what the hell, man? It's great work.
I'm still working on Bass Reeves. Got to get that thing done.
I got
Just
my
take-
T-shirt.
What's that? What did you say, Ethan?
I said I got my Bass Reeves T-shirt.
You got a Bass Reeves T-shirt?
You bet.
That's the
Oh,
Huntress,
I like
right?
that one.
So you basically prep these, and then whenever you get around them, you do them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
Man.
Yeah, that's about it.
Is that all? Is that all
Seriously,
you've been?
slacker.
Oh, one more.
That's what he did today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just during this live stream.
Oh, no, wait a
Aaron was
minute. Who is that? Is that Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Is that like a new version? A kind of a trendy
Well, he
Doctor?
had long hair at one time, but what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna draw it, and then I'm gonna draw it over and over and over like he's astroplaning.
Oh wow! Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. I'll
So
switch this back.
thanks for sharing.
No, dude, I'll look at your art all day long, man. So Ethan, you're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it's like freaking what, 1:45 in the morning or something?
Yeah, I'm up drawing pigs. I don't get to draw cool stuff like David does.
Well, wait a minute, you're drawing pigs. That
Nice.
must be something you wrote, right? There we go. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
Let's go in here.
Mama.
Let's go in here.
Oh,
Big.
wow.
for that.
Mama Piggy feeding her piglets.
So you have a farm scene going on in Cyberfrog, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, look at my layouts. You know, this is kind of how I do
Oh,
it.
that face is awesome.
But this is what I'm working on right now. Yeah, this guy's gonna slaughter the mother pig. You got to do it. I mean, it's homesteading. You know,
Yeah.
you got to
And
do that. So
And you gotta.
yeah, and Cyberfrog's just gonna watch it. Cyberfrog is not going to be squeamish. Like I thought at first, my instincts as a DC creator meant I'd have Cyberfrog kind of be like, "Hey, stop hurting the animals." But Cyberfrog's not like that at all. He understands this is what you got to do. But he's like, why you got to choose the mother? Like there are going to be like 18 other pigs in there. Like what? You see, she's feeding her young. This guy's
Yeah.
kind of a jerk. So
Yeah.
That's what I
Anyway.
looked like the other night, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I looked like Thursday night. I'm
Yeah, you
pretty
had,
sure.
you had your sword out and had a
Yeah.
grumpy face going on.
Yeah.
So,
My hand hurts every time I see Ethan's work. It's just so
Yeah.
much
yeah, I was like, dude,
rendering in there. I'm like, sheesh.
yeah.
how much time? I mean, I hate when people ask me this question because who looks at a clock when they're drawing? But okay, I'll put it a different way. For a page like that, right?
Yeah.
how much time are you going to spend on that from start to finish? Probably.
So I just started this page right after the live stream, which ended
Oh,
at
so you-
yeah. So this panel took a good 3 hours, and this whole page will be. I'll get the bottom panel done and the panel next to the piggy done by tomorrow morning, and then the bigger panel will take a whole day. So 2 days, good 2 days on this page, and that's just the way it is, And I'm slow. I'm a slow poke.
But when you're doing your own project like this, right? And you want to get it, this turned into an Ethan Ben Skyver interview, but that's great. I got you, so I'm going to do it. So when you're doing a project like this, obviously you've got a lot of time put aside for promotion, right? So you're doing your live streaming practically daily. Then you got guys like me and Art are like, hey, launch us, and so then you got to do those. How many pages do you think is reasonable considering all that? What's the goal you put for yourself per week?
1 page per week is
Really?
what I've been doing. I'll pick up the pace and do 2 pages a week. But this book is for me. It's not, it's not for DC. This book is for me, and every single page has to be something that I am happy with, because ultimately I'm going for a 4-issue arc that I'll maybe even 5 issues that I'll finish by the time I'm 50 years old, and then collect into I'm turning 47 next week, that I'll collect into a big.
If only.
Do you remember 47?
Barely.
Oh, I barely do.
Barely.
Yeah.
It's foggy.
Way back.
That's so this is entirely for me, and that's why this is great. It's like I just really appreciate being permitted to do this, because I don't want to go my whole life doing work that I just kind of did for somebody else that they didn't really care about. I mean, I can't even look at my DC comics anymore. And
Really?
I don't think, no, I can't. I haven't looked at them in a long time. I don't want to. It's like I'm not the greatest artist in the world, but I want to do the best art that I'm capable of doing, because God gave me a gift. God gave us all gifts, and so let me just since I'm over the hill, let me spend the second half of my life doing what I feel like I'm capable of doing, and that's I'm blessed to be able to do that right now. I thank God every single day for this. So yeah, when Cyberfrog Wreck Planet is finished, and I'm about somewhere between 6 and 10 pages from being done. I keep coming up with more ideas and things that I need to put in there. But when it's finished, it's going to represent the very best that I'm capable of doing. And it's a year's worth of work. I hope people enjoy it. I will be able to sell it continuously while I'm working on Cyberfrog 3, and it's a whole new way of doing comics. It's just a whole new way of doing business, where you're not doing monthly comics anymore. It's almost like, picture yourself as J.K. Rowling. You're releasing the next installment of The Wraith of God. And that's, just like the new Harry Potter comes out, and it's for sale until the next one comes out. And that's how, we should be looking at, doing comics in a sustainable way that where the enthusiasm is maintained, and then everything stays in print, and then eventually, it can all be collected into one big masterpiece. And Cyberfrog will be my masterpiece when it's finished. I have the entire story. I keep coming up with little bits of additional things. It's going to be something that I'm proud of, and a legacy that will last. Green Lantern and Flash, I don't own any of this. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's like, this is all me, and it's something that I get to leave to my kids. It's like, think about it. If Cyberfrog actually becomes a video game or a movie or something like that, I mean, let's take a chance. Let's take a chance that maybe it will, and it's something to actually leave to your children when you're gone. You guys can sell it to Disney, and they'll make him gay. It's like, that's. I mean, that's that's a real inheritance. That's a legacy. So
Now,
anyway, it means a lot.
This is probably getting way in front of it, but do you have concepts developed already beyond Cyberfrog when you complete the Cyberfrog story arc, that long-term vision, or are you just like, I'm going to get Cyberfrog done and then kind of sit back and figure out what I want to do next at that point?
I have so many ideas, but Cyberfrog is like, Cyberfrog it can just go on forever. You really think about where this story can go. It's the end of the world. You've got, it's this intergalactic war of pestilence versus these virtuous creatures who live on a green world. And there's a lot to do. And what is humanity worth? And, all these great questions about motherhood and the importance of mothers. And that's what Cyberfrog is. And I could keep doing this forever. On the other hand, I have a horror book called Fearsome that I would like to do, but I'll write it and I'll hand it off to an artist who wants to work with me. I need to come up with a nice way so that I am not forcing someone into the same slavery that I was in, working for DC Comics. I need some kind of profit sharing thing that's fair in order to work with a collaborator long term. All of these things are just going to work themselves out. I really believe I'm being guided. I really believe that, this is, God is watching over Comicsgate. As silly as that might sound to somebody, I really think that's what's going on here. So I have faith that everything will happen as it's supposed to happen.
I want you to know God wants you to clean up your language, though, okay?
My dad tells me that all the time. Aaron, my dad comes in my room. He's like, stop using the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
See. Now, okay, you're the only guy. I'm sorry, you probably want to go to bed or something, but I got a couple.
No, I'm working all night. I'm up all night.
Oh, man.
Okay, so if you're the one guy right now who has the resources to actually do a book and hire someone to draw it, so that you can write it, oversee it, and edit it, but you don't have to do that. Is that? I mean, because you've already got some younger creators, like I think isn't Snowman like being kind of published by you, all caps, right?
Yeah.
So is that part of your big term plan, is to maybe launch a couple more titles that other people are working on?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I'm profiting off of my friends. All that is I've got, Matt Martin, I've got Trent Kanuga, and these guys I've known for a long time, and they're not as invested in this as I am. So I just said, if you guys want to do your comic books, I will run the campaign. I will promote them. I will take a single figure percentage of the profits of your campaign, and we'll fulfill it too. I just want to put my label on it. So it's going to say all caps comics on it. Kyle Ritter, he started his campaign on his own. We finished it. We fulfilled it. We printed it for him. And Starblades has our logo on it, which we're proud of. It's a great looking book. But is that long-term what I want to do now? Again, it doesn't feel like it's anything that I need to be putting my energy in. I hope that they made a lot of, it's like, I'll tell you, it's a real pleasure to like work with your friend and launch a campaign like Snowman or Creed. And then it successfully funds, and it's like, we do the math, we do the, and you cut your friend a check for like $49,000. And it's just like, there you go. I'm proud of that. It's like, you did this much work. You got paid the way a DC Comics or a Marvel Comics Pro wishes they could get paid for this. That's a real pleasure, but there's not a lot in it for us. We just don't make that much money, doing other people's stuff. So we probably won't do too much of it.
Right.
We got Dale Keown who wants, to do Pit through All Caps Comics. We want to do it for the glory of working with Dale Keown, but we're not going to make any money off of that.
Sure.
I can do a Cyberfrog book and make more money for ourselves,
Right. Sure.
But yeah, we just want to have Pit, under our headline.
Now, how close to reality do you think that is? That you can actually get Dale to come in and start doing something.
What a great question. Dale's just drawing Cyberfrog stuff every day. Like he's like, hey, look at this, and it's a new Cyberfrog drawing. He's working on my stuff, and I'm not even asking him to. It's like, look, I drew this. These beautiful images of Cyberfrog, and if I like one, I'll buy it from him. But he's working on coming up with a story, and if he doesn't want to do that, I've given him a Salamandroid story to draw. So I know how hesitant like somebody is to like get back into their own thing and get back to Pit. It's like getting into your high school automobile again, and it's like do you want? Yeah. But it's like, might take a while before you want to get in there and start it up. So I gave him a Salamandroid 20-page story. I'd love to see that happen, but he's slower than I am. So, I've got him working on a wraparound Cyberfrog cover for Cyberfrog 3, which is gorgeous.
Not bad.
And after that, it's really up to him. I don't want to pressure him. If I figure if he needs money, he'll do work. That's a good way to look at artists. If you need money, you'll do work.
Is he writing it?
I don't know. He has ideas. He's hitting me with ideas. He might hire a writer, and David, maybe you want to write it for him. Go. No, okay. I don't know. He's doing what he wants to do right now. And something tells me he's slowed way down, with everything. He did a book for Marvel. He did a couple of books for Marvel before this. They were paying him just birdseed. I mean, he told me what his page rate over there. I said, that's a disgrace. And it was.
Oh, did we lose him?
I'm here.
Okay, you froze up for a second. That might have been my internet.
Page rate.
Yeah, you were saying they're paying him birdseed, and you knew his page rate. I'm sure you're not going to reveal it, but
no,
I missed right after that what you said.
I just said it's a disgrace. What they're paying a talent like Dale Keown is a disgrace. So I'm paying him much better. And here's the thing: I paid him a lot of money to do some drawings of Cyberfrog Salamandroid. You have to be stupid to not be able to make a profit from a single Dale Keown drawing. I mean, I put it on a T-shirt and I've made my money back and then some. And that's just, I'm putting it on a comic book cover. That's where I'll just rake in profits. You got to just, pay these guys what they're worth. If you pay them what they're worth, they're going to do work that's valuable and you can make money from. How
I don't know the story. How did Dale end up, and you and Dale end up connecting?
We've known each other since the 90s, but I haven't talked to him in a while. Dale is one of us politically, which I had no idea. I really didn't know. And he heard me on the Kurt Metzger show and just said, "You are hilarious. It's great to, hook up again." He's like, I just, amazing. And he's like, "I want to be a part of what you're doing." And I was blown away by that because he's been my favorite artist since I was 18.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Oh my gosh, yeah, he was awesome. I gotta wrangle him on this show because I want to talk to him. I met him once in Australia back in '95, and we talked a little bit. And I did some pit card artwork for him and stuff during that period of time. But I hadn't talked to him since. So I'd really love to. She probably doesn't even remember me, but I'd love to.
He just jumped feet first into Comicsgate. I mean, he's like, "I'm Comicsgate." He's like, I'm like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, dude, of course I'm. He's like, I don't care what these wokies say. I'm Comicsgate. He's like, I'm more conservative than you are. And so he's just so rad. He's such a great guy and he's so much fun. And he's already reaching out and making friends. He's like, I talked to the Diaz brothers. I'm talking to them. I'm talking to John Malin. I'm Malin Militia. He's just having a great time and he's got the right spirit for this. And it's like, everyone's happy to see him. He shows up on a live stream and gets drunk with us, now and then. And he's just, he's a good guy. And yeah, I mean, you should definitely get him on your show and talk to him.
Do you think you should
look at that? J-Dog says Dale saw the Wraith of God trailer and he liked it a lot. How about that? Oh, I'm honored.
Thanks, wow. J-Dog. In fact, J-Dog, thanks for your support as well on this whole.
Yeah, he was in there brawling with Shelly on the.
We were shredding, my friend.
Do you think that Dale should put out a pit artist book before he tries to do interior pages again, just to get his feet wet? Yeah,
he can whatever he wants to do. I mean, you could tell him. Dale's very funny because he's just like, yeah, that sounds cool. So if you said to him, you should do an artist book, he'd be like, yeah, that sounds cool. And he'd probably just do it. He's just he's so chill and he's just kind of, I don't know, whatever I feel like doing. Former rock star, that kind of a guy. He used to be in bands and stuff. So he's having a good time. I think what people want me to do is do the pit omnibus. And I mean, that's something that,
right there in the chat. Yeah.
Warts and All took a year to put together. I mean, Warts and All was an incredible, I mean, designing the book, getting everything, getting the scans made, getting the files made. The 416 pages of Cyberfrog stuff from all over the place was took a long time to do. So I'm looking at this responsibility of doing the Pit Omnibus, and it would be me. I mean, I would be doing it pretty much by myself, putting this book together. And then once I got it together, I'd get Dale to write everything and make it just the way he wanted. I can picture it in my head. I'm like, dude, it'll have a slipcase with die-cut claw marks across it. That you'll rip the slipcase off and there'll be Pit underneath with his claws and blood and everything. Designing the book would be fun, but it's a lot of work for something that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, that's true.
The glory in it, I mean, I'm sure I'd make some money. I'll make a little money, but the glory in it would be having my Laughing Man logo on it under Pit. It would be so cool. But I don't know if it's enough for all of the time away from Cyberfrog. So I'll probably need to hire some more people to really handle it so that I don't have to do all of that work.
Yeah, dude, you could hire someone just to edit and put it together. That wouldn't be that much of an expense, I wouldn't think. Just a freelance editor to put it together for you.
Yeah, I'd crowdfund it. I mean, and the other thing is, like, people are like, oh, it would make a lot of money. I've heard that before. I've heard people say this is going to make a lot of money, and then it's disappointing. One of the most devastating examples of that is like Sean Gordon Murphy's book. And I really felt like when Sean Gordon Murphy's, was going to crowdfund, we were looking at $800 million campaign because he's just red hot. He's at the top of the hill, and he thought so too. He actually came out and said it. He said, I don't know how this is going to do. Let's say on the low end, it's 500,000. High end, it's 1 million, and I was like, whew. And he came out and he did his campaign, and it was 240,000. That's what it landed at. We would be killed. I mean, if I did the Pit Omnibus and it raised 240,000, we'd be in real trouble. Right. So, you don't know. Everything's a gamble, and it seems like a layup. It seems like everybody would want it, but what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't sell very well? Then what? We're in real trouble. So, this is a lot of consideration. It's a lot of risk taking and things like that. And when it comes to taking risks, I'm always quicker to take a risk on me than someone else. Right. Because then at least it's my problem,
Right. No, I get it. That makes total sense. So you're just going to have to light a fire to Dale and get him to produce something, because we're all just like, everybody, we all want to see new Dale material, right? So, because I don't know, has he done any interiors for a while? It's just been covers for years, hasn't it?
Well, he just did an Avengers one shot with Ed McGuinness, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it just came out. This is the thing. Nobody cares. Nobody recognized it. He showed it me while he was drawing it because we were talking. He's like, I'm almost finished this and I'm leaving Marvel. I'm out of here. And it was just like he drew this shot of like, who was it, Hyperion or something like that, flying through Galactus's head and brain matter and everything like a bullet. And it just looked great. And again, it's like Marvel is in such a state now that, first of all, they don't even know what to do with Dale Keown. When they got him, they don't pay him enough. And who even knew? Who knew that book existed? I can't even remember what it's called. But it just came out like a month ago, I think. So.
Well, wow. I guess maybe that speaks volumes of the big two and where they're at, right? You can have something like that and no one even know about it.
It's really weird. I'd see Dale Keown is on par with Todd McFarlane.
I did too. I thought Dale, out of that group of guys, and he really wasn't an original image guy. He was just an add-on, right? Later. And he was, in my opinion, was the most talented of that bunch by far. I mean, Todd was obviously the most influential, and probably Jim Lee as well, but Dale was the guy.
Just in terms of star power, like his work. When Todd McFarlane puts a book out, a cover out, or when he used to, I don't know about anymore, but his old stuff was really striking. You would see it on the stands and you'd have to buy it. You'd have to pick it up. And Dale Keown was the same way. Like, I'd see a new Pit book and I'd be like, whoa, that's so cool. Yep. So exciting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to think that like he's sitting there like working on half of an issue of the Avengers and nobody recognizes it and Marvel doesn't care and promote it is really depressing. And, what does that say about the rest of us? It's like, what does that say about our value? respectively to these big companies. If Dale Keown can't even get what's coming to him, you know.
Yeah, boy, isn't that the truth? Oh man. Well, gentlemen, it is freaking late, and it's really late where Ethan's at, but he needs to get back to work, right? So
Yeah, I'll be up until 7 a.m. working on piggies here. So
you'll just okay, so you go to bed at 7
Take a
a.m.
break, have some bacon.
No, wait a minute. You go to bed at 7 a.m. and then when do you get up?
noon.
So
Yeah.
just 5 hours of sleep, that's it?
That's not enough.
Lately, I got a lot to do. Like I wake up and we do the mail. You take eBay. You know, our eBay is a big part of our income, so that goes out. I got to run and do family stuff, and then at night, in the evening, people need me to live stream. I will live stream and try to promote some comics. Couple hours, 5 hours in the case of last night. That was, and then I draw. Yeah, until dawn.
That last night that Graham hit
100,000 last night.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, time is just like
It's all mooshing together.
yeah. 'Cause I
You'll
was
be there.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Of course,
You're
you guys
getting
were-
there. You'll be there. You'll be there in a couple of weeks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So you're
I
ready.
appreciate that.
It's been awesome.
Well,
Most of it's been awesome.
yeah, some of it's
But,
been
yeah.
awesome.
Guys, stick with it. I mean, look, you found a really nice community. You know, everyone loves you here. You're doing good work that people want to pay for. It's not hard to sell your book, and look at the bright side of what's happening here. I know that's tough, but the bright side is that you're kind of seeing the light. You know, when I actually saw the comic book industry for what it was, I was shocked, and I told Dan DiDio, I had a conversation with him. I said, you're not going to believe this, but like there's a cabal of radical leftist social justice warriors who meet in private and work hard to orchestrate the destruction of people who they politically disagree with. And I know I sound crazy right now, Dan, but this is true. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's real. And he goes, I know. And I was just like,
We got to meet them.
yeah, it's like once you see the comic book industry for that, and that is a reality, and that's true, and it's you got to do something about it. You got to make some changes. You can never go back, and you know you need to establish your own destiny, and you know Comicsgate is not an easy road at all. It's just not an easy road, but it requires cooperation, it requires hard work, and it requires self-determination. And I know you have that in you. So, you know, think about that. Join us. You know, I asked my subscribers, I asked my fans to catch me. They caught me. And they're going to catch you too.
They already
So-
have.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, the support's
Awesome.
been terrific. That's the flip side to it, right? You see all
Mhm.
this crap, and then you get encouraging letters and notes from
Yeah.
people that you don't even know, right? That you know, I saw this, I saw what was happening, I supported your book, I love your work, hang in there, man. And you hear that all the time, and I get that a lot on my live streams, and that's a great feeling because it sort of counterbalances all the other crap. And you say, yeah, maybe this is worth it. You know,
And
there
once
is good
word-
people in here.
Once word got out on Twitter, it's been 99% positive. Hang in there. Please sue them. You know, those kind of things like,
You're going to
Yeah.
get involved in anger. I used to do that too. I'd be like, I'm going to sue. And I had all these, you know, angry vengeance fantasies. But the truth of the matter is they want you to do that. They want you to react that way because it makes you look like an idiot.
yeah.
what
So
they-
the support we've gotten though in the last couple of days, he's not looking so much. I am, just in case there's any more shredding that needs to happen.
Yeah.
But
Shelley,
been-
just walk, close, just hands over your ears.
Yeah.
Here's what you can do to beat them. You can raise $100,000 on the Wraith of God,
Yeah.
and that will devastate them. They cry about Cyberfrog every single day. They act like it's the worst comic book in the world. And all this stuff, all of this coping, they don't understand it. They think it's a scam. They think all of this stuff. It isn't. It's just, it's a cool looking comic book, and I have an audience that's willing to support it.
Yeah.
That's how I know I'm beating them, is because they can't shut up about Robotoad. I could sue them. I could do all of this stuff, and it wouldn't be half as effective as winning is and has been.
yeah, we
So,
decided back today. We're like, we're not giving them any more power. It's dumb. And they're just going to crawl back
Like
in the
that
hole.
name, Robotoad.
Robotoad. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just I have faith in you guys. I think you're going to do great.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
We're loving it.
Well, let's wrap this thing up. I want to thank everybody that showed up, and David and Ethan for coming on, surprise visiting and pumping up the viewership. Look at that. So you new people that are here, like and subscribe and watch. This is the Clean channel. So
I'm sure. And go to Indiegogo, Wraith of God. Yay. Yeah.
But yeah, support Wraith of God. The link is in the description. And David Williams, of course, is working on Bass Reeves for that other company. I keep forgetting the name. Help me out, David. Allegiance, right? And that's a Walmart book that you can get that. Ethan, is Wrecked Planet, is any of that still open and like in demand or anything? Or you just got your toys going?
Yeah, I've got my action figures, which I really need help with. I need some more supporters on that. Also we've got the Blood Honey, Cyberfuck Blood Honey box campaign with reprints of Blood Honey in it. People can support that. Wreck Planet will be open for second chance backers, but a couple months from now.
Okay. Well, I think the toy thing is really fantastic, and I'm glad you hit your mark on that. So, but you're just like at break even, right, at this point. So you need to kind of get a few more orders in there and support that. But I think,
yeah, I'm at break even no matter what. Like any money that comes in is going into doing more stuff with the toys. So I'm just like, please give me more money so I can improve the packaging, add these accessories, etc.
Fantastic. All right, gentlemen, again, thank you so much for coming in and helping me out here when I got attacked. And this was actually a terrific show. I was glad, Ethan, to get a chance to interview you a little bit and get some information out of you. And David, always thanks for dropping in and supporting and showing us some really nice work as always. So everybody have a good night. Thank you for joining. Like we always like to say, right? Back somebody's Indiegogo, even if it's not mine. I'd prefer it to be mine, but hey, and get after those toys that Ethan's got, because those look really, really cool. So
thanks.
Anyway, good night, everybody. And